Futures a little changed here this morning, heading into the end of what has been another very volatile week. We're actually basically flat to slightly lower for all three U.S. indexes heading into the weekend here. We got more indications from the Fed and Chair Powell yesterday that we'll get not only one, but multiple larger increases, interest rate increases throughout the remainder of the year. That had all three U.S. indexes very negative by the end of the day. What a reversal we saw from an early positive start on Thursday. Heading into Friday, the Dow is actually still holding on to about a 1% gain for the week when both the S&P and the NASDAQ are in negative territory. The S&P working on a 2-week losing streak as well, it's worth noting, so it could be 3 depending on how we shape up here. Meanwhile, more earnings to get through this morning. Snapchat actually not as bad as expected. Monthly active user number a little bit better than expected on the increased side of things. We'll talk about Snap coming up. Not good for Gap. They haven't even reported yet. Some operational issues and headwinds going forward. GPS under pressure. AXP as well, American Express. Some of the payment names have been in focus over the past couple of weeks. Their report decent, but to the downside here for AXP. It's Friday, April 22nd, 2022. TraderTV.live starts now. Yeah, a bit of a mixed board to start things off so far this morning. The NASDAQ, nice to see it back in positive territory, led things to the downside yesterday. 0.3 right now for the NASDAQ. The Dow, about the same to the downside. S&P, dead flat right now for the S&P 500. You can see a little bit negative the rest of the board here. Crude oil down 1.4 to start things off. Bitcoin and Ethereum little changed. It is Friday. Welcome, guys. Hope you're well. The end of the week has come. It's going to be an interesting one. Good morning. I mean, a couple of earnings reports, obviously. We'll talk about Snapchat. Not as bad as expected here, but more news on Twitter. The Elon angle. There's now multiple sources saying that he's got not one, but a couple of financing options when it comes to getting this deal done. So we'll have to watch Twitter today as well, guys.
Yes, happy Friday. It's me and my man here again, Arun. What's going on? Chilling? Yeah, good. Yeah, Friday's going to be a good day. I feel like this week went by really fast. I mean, I know we had Good Friday last week and then a full week this week, but I feel like this one's just flown right by. We had some great trades yesterday. Hope we can put some similar ones on today. Some AMD short, Facebook short yesterday. I'm into Cliffs right now off a great report. You're into Marvell, so this is going to be a good one here. Today we've already got some great ideas. Sticky notes out there. The watch list is out. Actually, that reminds me, where the heck is my, oh, here it is, behind my coffee. Sticky note right here. And yeah, you mentioned Twitter, some, hopefully Elon, rounding the wagon, I guess, getting people together here, trying to figure out what's going on with the funding. We have a note here that he wants to do 12 billion of it backed by Tesla shares. His Tesla shares, I don't like that, but yeah, Twitter should be an exciting name today. I'm looking at that 48 level coming through, but yeah, I'm excited for the weekend. Maybe we'll take the kids to the theater. They want to see that Bad Guys movie. That should be exciting. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing and looking forward to coming here, trading like crazy once again today. Hopefully we can pick our spots and give some winners, have some fun, and trade this market that right now is pretty flat.
Yeah, I mean, it's been quite the day. It's been quite the run to the downside yesterday. Market needs a break. Still trying to figure out whether it wants to go up or down from here. I'm in the same boat here. I don't know, because the market's in this spot. We'll talk about the futures levels, but because we're in this spot where we really haven't moved much from where we closed yesterday, we are down 0.11%. So that's like 4.5 points or so. And we're just working the top end here, 90. If this market can get going north of 4,400, there's a chance that this actually turns up into a buy-side day. I've got the green arrow shirt on. Hopefully that's the case, but while I say that, I am on the short side of one name specifically right now, Marvell, in the event that we just fall off, right? That's the danger here, is that we hit the top end. We've exhausted any sort of buying after such a big day down. You would expect some more buying to come in, but if we can't get that buying going north of 4,400, we could easily just go back down towards the lows. So I'm kind of preparing for both sides here. I got one short. I'm looking for long, see if we can get any futures trades on today as well. And we'll see how this one goes, Brennan.
Yeah, semiconductors across the board pretty weak yesterday. We'll have a look at AMD as Sean was mentioning there. NVIDIA as well. I was just having a look, guys. DD Global up 4% pre-market. So some of the Chinese stocks may be worth a watch. We saw weakness in Alibaba and JD.com as well come back in a little bit yesterday. Miss V is at the dentist this morning. We're hoping she will join us a little bit later on. If not on our show, definitely for the midday show. So Miss V not with us this morning, but we will continue on without her and hope she joins us a little bit later on. Let's jump into a few things to know this morning. I mean, we can talk about Snapchat, I guess, here, guys. We were expecting a bit of a disaster for Snap. They come out with a better than expected increase quarter over quarter and year over year for that ever important monthly active user number. So, I mean, we saw an initial flush off the report, but right back up for Snap.
Yeah, I wrote down a couple of things. I mean, they have a nice daily active user number there, up 18%. But yeah, it's not really moving at all. But for right now, though, what's up with Valen Pharmaceuticals right now, announcing they're looking into some strategic, and I'm going to get over to Snapchat in a minute, some strategic alternatives. So what does that mean? I'm not sure exactly, but I don't know much about this company, but it's a pharmaceutical name, and it's going hard right now, up 100%, 13 million shares. I'm going to take long if we break the pre-market high of right now of 230, so we'll be able to test that. I've been really, really crappy at these, so let's just wait to see what happens. I mean, this has been a nice little barcoded area, so if we do fall back into $2, I think we got to go long in there. And I'm just going to look at this as if it was a normal stock and try to trade some levels. And on that sentence, look, this is why I think we can go. You have $4 here. I mean, obviously, like I said, I don't know much about the company here, but they had to have something working for them. You know, they've started off $4. They started to rip up to $9.50. There it is. Now we're long. It takes down this $8 area, kind of hangs out up there before ripping down, or I guess not ripping, tanking down to the downside here about this $4. Once that was taken, you get all the way down to $1. And now today, maybe they're rethinking some of their plans here. So let's see what happens. I feel like they can get to $4. Like, if anything, that, I mean, $4 from where we came from yesterday, you're already up 100%. You know, that would be a monster day from 1 to 4. So can we get up that 300-400% today? Let's see if it does that. You're going to have to get the volume going. But no surprise there that we failed at that day high. So we're not like stepping in there with a maximum position or anything. We just wanted to see if it wanted to go, because when it took out this level, 207, ripped up that 30-40 pennies. So I'm going to wait in here now to see if we can average into it. And then honestly, like, not to get stuck in this, so it gives everything back. I'm going to have to get out if we break like 190, maybe down here to 185, something like that. So we'll average into this name. We don't want to get too offside here, you know, heading into the open. So VLON, something that's on our watch list and now on my mind. So that's that. But all right, so Snapchat. Look, I looked at it, and I don't really understand why it's not moving that much. I mean, I feel like all those numbers that they reported were actually pretty decent there. 18% daily average user increase, that's exactly the kind of number that we're looking for. I mean, anything greater than 0 at this point, I feel like is good, considering what the social media stocks have done here, including Snapchat. Why doesn't my chart load there? Including Snapchat. Look at the 1 minute range here. This is a 1 minute chart. It's doing absolutely nothing. It's been getting hit, obviously, as we've seen its fellow mates, like everything, Facebook, we've talked about that, Twitter going through some issues right now. But look at this, $75 back in, you know, summer of when everything was rocking, and now you're right back down here to some of these levels. That bottom of 28 is what I'm going to be looking at to see if we can take that down, but you're only at $29 right now. I just figured that this would be up a lot more today. Increase, 38% year over year increase in revenues, right? Was pretty good. 20 to 25% expected, and they got 38. So I feel like it's kind of blowout numbers right here, and there's at least, we have on our note here, 7 brokerages cut price target on stock between 34 and 77, talking about their conservative guidance. But I think in this environment, stocks shouldn't really be guiding too much, especially if you're a revenue-based model, because, you know, a lot of companies citing the problems in Russia and Ukraine, not wanting to guide forward. They don't know if companies are going to be coming back online due to some of the turbulence there in Europe. So Snapchat's not going to have supply chain issues or anything like that. But let's wait to see what happens here with Snapchat. I'm excited for it. We have this $30 level here. That could be a play as well. But so far, so good here for Snapchat today, up 0.5. I look to fade it because I look to fade everything today. Heading into the weekend, I'm a little nervous about this NASDAQ, so we'll see what Snapchat does. What I written down on this sticky note was just 28 bucks. So let's see what happens at 28 bucks. That's going to be a key level for me, but might be a nothing burger.
Yeah, I mean, Snapchat's going to do something. We'll see what it does. After what it did overnight, after yesterday's release, it's going to do something. Before I start with Snapchat, Bradley Taylor mentioned Zoom at 100, so that could be a good break too. Keep an eye on that one. I just wait for that one to get through before you step in. I wouldn't step on it right away because it's a big round number. It's also near lows, so definitely one to watch. But Snapchat, man, Snapchat was I didn't take this trade, but one of the guys on the floor took this trade off the release and made a ton of money on it. So a great play if you're playing those earnings releases. Very dangerous to do it though, but easy play to the downside here. All the way down to 23, snapped all the way back up to 33, and then now we're sideways pretty much where we closed. I mean, what is Snapchat? If it gets going, it's got to get going back below that 28 level. That seems to be where we stalled out around. We closed that 5-minute bar just before the equity market closes, or at least for us anyways, around that 410, 415 area. And then we kind of bounce back up. So we're kind of wedged in here. If we get back below 28, I think there's a chance that we could see the lows. But again, that's a chance that we could see the lows because if you go to the daily, 28 would put you underneath right here as well. Puts you underneath that low from mid-March. Yeah, we snapped underneath. Yeah, you know, Snapchat snapped underneath that level, but snapped right back. So it's snapping all over the place. But if we can get back under there and trade underneath that 28, I think that's going to be the critical point. I'll just draw it out for you guys. That's the level we need to get underneath and trade underneath for shorts to be in play on Snapchat.
We'll talk about it a little bit more, obviously, coming up here. But the big one this morning. An interesting note, guys, on Tesla. I mean, I don't really know why we keep going back to Cathie Wood, but she's had this habit of being kind of off with her timing, to be honest. But here we go. Cathie Wood selling, $100 million worth of Tesla. Yesterday on the earnings day, I mean, we saw the overall market kind of drag this thing to the downside throughout the session. Did hold, you know, some of that gap from the prior day, but giving back all of what we saw in the pre-market essentially yesterday. But Cathie Wood on the sell side for Tesla now.
Yeah, I mean, the note says that she sold it post-earnings. So I think her timing was actually pretty good because depending on when she sold it, I mean, post-earnings, she sold it yesterday near the pre-market highs or maybe even off open. I don't know what she saw in the numbers that she didn't like, but like you mentioned, her timing's been off on a lot of names. I mean, she sold Palantir sub $10. She's probably sold out of the Snapchat position. But yeah, Tesla yesterday was nasty. I mean, we had the longs early when the momentum was there to the upside. Hey, what's up, Katrine? We have a new member here today. How's it going? Good to see you. All right, so let's go. So Tesla today, we'll see if it can hold, man. It's going to hold this $1,000 level. I feel like they came out with some price target upgrades today. Oppenheimer, Deutsche Bank as well to 1250 from 1200. Oppenheimer to 1300 from 1100. Let's just see. I mean, we know Tesla's operating at a good level. It's just a matter of, are they too valuable right now? There's really no supply chain issues. He mentioned on the report that supply chain was their biggest fear, but they're definitely working. They're definitely producing. You know, I like Tesla here, and I think this 1025, on some of those upgrades, if the NASDAQ gets going, this name goes. But remember about yesterday, like we thought Tesla was having a good day when it was up 4 or 5%, but the problem was it was up 11% at one point. So definitely money coming out of some of these high-flying names. The $1 trillion valuation, maybe a little high. We know PE's never really been an issue for Tesla. Maybe some of this worry for Twitter is weighing on Tesla shareholders because they feel like Elon's not focused in the right areas, potentially there. But I like Tesla. I mean, we'll see if it takes down this 995. I feel like if it does, then it's a huge short. So that's really the only levels for short that I'm looking at. And then if you're going to go long, let's see what this NASDAQ does because it's just dumped down there and actually turned negative or close enough to it there. We don't want to be long Tesla if the market is going down. We saw that yesterday. So for me, 1025 if this market takes off. Otherwise, I really think it's a decent short here at 990. So let's see if it takes down that low yesterday. That's an issue for me. So yeah, Tesla just sort of right now could be range bound today. But again, some breakout candles there on the daily chart.
Yeah. For me, 970 is going to be the level. I mean, again, one thing though, I don't trade it. So if you guys want to just look at the chart, I'll just say, hey, look at this. 970 looks like it's going to be a solid base. It also held right as earnings were coming out on Tesla. So where is this? Right here. So 970 held that day as well. So that's why it's going to have a ton of volume pretty much from 980 going on down. So expect some sort of strength buying down there. I mean, when it comes to Cathie Wood, I mean, like, I don't know enough about it, but at the same time, like, as a fund manager, timing is everything. In this market, timing is everything. So if you're off your game a little bit, you know, or if it's a matter of taking profits to, you know, just kind of pad your books while you get into other things, that we don't know what she's doing, right? And so we'll just leave it be. Let her, you know, she got to a point where she's doing what she's doing because she was good at it at some point. If it's still happening, we'll see. But 970 is going to be the level on Tesla that it needs to break to open up the downside. We talked about this on earnings day. We're going to talk about it again. This range opened up the door. You break out of that range, you either go through that 1100 to 12, or if you break through the 970, you go down towards that 900 through 850. So right now, this market has decided it doesn't want to even, or Tesla has decided it doesn't even want to go through 1100. So now it's right back into that same range we were in for 5-6 days. If we take that 970, this stock has some space to the downside. So we'll see how this one plays out today, especially with the market doing what it's doing, which is going sideways on a Friday after a big down day. I mean, this could be a good finish to the week, or it could be a very boring finish to the week, because either you're going to get a ton of excitement or you're going to get absolutely nothing, which is playing both sides of the fence. But at the same time, the opposite could be just all over the place madness, where it goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, and you just get chopped up. We don't want that. So directional moves only, please, in this market.
All right, let's talk about the overall market here. We'll bring in Michael Noss, chartered market technician from Trade Ideas. Happy to have Michael Noss back with us once again. After, first of all, sir, congratulations, a brand new addition to your family. I'm sure you have had very little sleep over the past couple of days. So
Yep.
Coffee in hand, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was great 2 weeks off, and I don't even want to tell you guys how much caffeine I've consumed to make sure I'm on point here today.
Much needed, for sure. Good to have you back, as I mentioned. Let's talk about some positivity, why don't we? Because, I mean, there's all sorts of reasons why we could be negative. We maybe should be negative going into the last day of the week here. The overall market has been negative for a couple of weeks now, but you're coming here today with a couple of reasons why we should maybe be looking on the positive side of things.
Yeah, exactly. And this is something that I always like to do. You know, I'm on Twitter. I'm doing stuff for Trade Ideas. I'm talking about all of these different things. I'm very involved in the chartered market technician community, all this kind of thing. So when I see a lot of posts and a lot of sentiment without actually quantifying the sentiment in one direction, I always like to sit back and kind of take the other side, you know, do the devil's advocate approach to the market. And really, I haven't seen any big bull cases out there. It's all been, everything is negative. Things are falling apart, especially with the action yesterday. If you tune into, you know, the financial media at all, it's all the same kind of thing. So when I was sitting down this morning and I was doing up this presentation, I was like, let me make a case for the other side. Now, again, don't know if case is going to come true, but I think it's important as a trader that you always look at both sides of the equation, you know, and then let the weight of the evidence approach. And this stops you from getting biased to just one direction. So just looking here on the SPY, this is something that I have seen a lot of potential inverse head and shoulders. So basically what this just means, if we go down to the next slide, I'm just going to break down what a head and shoulders or an inverse head and shoulders pattern is, because on top of the technical patterns, I think the psychology behind it's way more important. So if you look at the first half of the inverse head and shoulders, we have a high and then a low, and a lower high and a lower low. And that's just a textbook definition of a downtrend. Lower highs and lower lows are downtrends. So if we have a higher low, which is kind of what we're forming so far today, or over the last few days, and then that potentially breaks out to a higher high, that's a change in trend. And that's exactly what the head and shoulders pattern is. It's just you've stopped making lower lows and you've started to make higher lows again. So that kind of change as well. But, you know, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, which was yesterday's close. So the next chart I have here is zoomed into yesterday's close. And yes, a very big red ugly bar. I have just a cutout of kind of what that looks like as a typical candlestick pattern. It's a bullish engulfing pattern or a bearish engulfing pattern. But then I went and I said, okay, as a quantitative trader and a technical analyst, let's actually test that. Is this pattern bearish? And what I did is I went back about 8 years and I looked at every time we had that kind of bearish engulfing candle where we opened above the high of yesterday's range, and then we closed well below the low of yesterday's range. And then I have the statistics here on the next slide. And it shows that about 60% of the time, 5 days later, we are actually up from this pattern. So it might be one of those things that the old wise tale kind of tells you that this is a very bearish pattern and we need to be very, very worried about it. But when you actually look at the numbers, it looks like it might be the other way around here. So again, 60% is not 100%. So there's obviously a good probability we are lower 5 days from now. I just picked 5 days because that's probably the next time I'll see you guys. But if I'm right, and if we move up over the next 5 days, and that would kind of help confirm this inverse head and shoulders pattern, then I want to have a handful of things long. And at Trade Ideas, we always want to leave you some trade ideas. So I've got a couple charts that I like to look at. Now, how I found these was really, really simply. As a relative strength trader, you guys know I've been hammering on relative strength for a very long time. I just want to, when the market is selling, I just want to look at what didn't they sell? Where didn't the institutions and the hedge funds go and liquidate their positions? So I was able to quickly bring up a scan on Trade Ideas and say, hey, just show me everything that was up from yesterday's close and up from yesterday's open. So I was able to hold on during that tape yesterday. So the first one here is Monster. Again, I've been taught to buy smiley faces and sell frowny faces, and that kind of looks like a smiley face to me. The next one here is WDC, which is Western Digital. Potential inverse head and shoulders going on here, and we broke that downtrend yesterday and we were able to hold on. Western Digital is, hard drives and things like that for people that don't know. And last but not least is MKC. Nice looking bull flag that's broken into new highs. And again, we were able to hold that green candle yesterday. These guys do spices, some sort of spice export company. So they'll probably move with kind of the inflation trade or the inflation hedge. The thing I like about this one is it's holding right near those highs. So above that, maybe we could go.
Important levels, obviously, for the overall market right across the board. But it's interesting to see when you kind of dig into individual names. We mentioned a few others yesterday as well, actually showing strength when there was so much negativity in the overall market. A couple of weeks now for the indexes in negative territory. We'll see how today plays out. Enjoy the weekend. Get lots of sleep. Mr. Noss, we appreciate your time as always. Thanks for this.
Thank you very much.
A couple of reasons, guys, why we potentially should be looking on the long side.
I mean, that's part of it, right? The contrarian view. And I think that, and I said this the other day, actually, is that when there's so much negativity there in the market, you're going to get that coiled up sort of explosion when something goes right. And I mean, that's when you look at he was just talking about the SPY, look at the NASDAQ, all that, the kind of the same thing. You get these names that have just been beat down so much, then all of a sudden, maybe, we get some good talk from out of Ukraine and Russia. Maybe one of Google or Microsoft or Facebook or probably Apple comes out and surprises something to the upside there, and you get a rally in the whole sector. Maybe AMD, Nvidia, something like that comes back to life. So I feel pretty strong about some of those opinions, but really when it comes down to it, and he's a CMT charter market technician there, he knows that the trend is your friend right now, and definitely to the downside as this market's just going to have to figure itself out and get its footing back. So I like some of the names. I am a bull, in heart, but honestly, as day traders, Arun, it's our job really to play the momentum, play the market as we see it. And for right now, I'm looking short. We just got a nice little trade there on VLON to the point where right now we're at the money. We took that average in right where we thought we would get it, back down here at $2. So we actually got a 204 print back in, giving us our average price now 217. So we're actually back in the money on VLON right now, and let's see if that could take out the upside now. But yeah, so I love having Michael Noss on. The fact that we can get such high quality guests like Daniel Shea, Michael Noss right there, Frank Caberna from the Small Exchange, I really feel blessed in the way that you know, our business is growing here at tradertv.live. So thank you, Michael Noss. Trade Idea is an absolutely fantastic program. You know, check them out. Again, not affiliated at all, other than, you know, what we bring on you here. So we love Trade Ideas. Thank you, Michael Noss. And Brendan, it looks like it's upgrades and downgrade time.
Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning. I mean, as Sean said, we have no affiliation with Trade Ideas whatsoever. We love their product. We love the content that they bring. So check out Trade Ideas, guys. Frank Caberna as well this afternoon will join us to talk a little bit about the market. So come back this afternoon. Upgrades and downgrades today. More airline positivity, potentially. We'll talk about the airlines, both American and United on here from JP Morgan. Palantir getting a price target increase today from Piper Sandler. There's Tesla. Snapchat over there, another big mover yesterday down here. XRX, guys.
Yeah. Snapchat is making a, you know, it was.
Is it making a move now?
No, it's not making a move. It just moved down. I was like, ooh, that's a decent move down. It was only like 50 cents, but it could also be the spread because I actually never looked at what the spread was. No, actually it did move down. Decent move down from the high into the 70s down to now 35 and change on the bid. You can argue a case for it, but again, Snapchat's got to actually get going and decide what it wants to do because right now it's just going sideways, so we're not going to touch that. And I'm looking for more positions. I am not fully committed to either side. You see me in the one position I've got on Marvell. But apart from that, I've got some orders out. They're far away. We've had a crazy day yesterday, which means that a lot of these charts that were stellar yesterday, great shorting opportunities, they're so far down now that it's going to be hard to catch them. Like the setups are just gone. They were good yesterday. Now they're too far gone. Do you want to take the short again today? Absolutely not. Not when it's that far out. So I'm looking at a couple names. This came up yesterday. I've been watching Lulu for days now. And Lulu on the daily, around the daily, on the daily chart, it was that 380 level. We finally cleared. We got above that one day. That was the 13th. We got above, dipped in. That was a long opportunity. Went all the way to 410. 2-day snap through, right back through that 380 level. Now I want to see what it brings north of 380. There could be a short here, but again, could be a short, but depends entirely on how far it's willing to bounce. If it can bounce enough to get me a fill, I'll take the shot. It's going to be a high-risk position because of how expensive it is. But Lulu has a chance for this is one of the few names that actually has a chance to continue the short. So on top of Gap being an option, but Gap is actually continuing its move to the downside. So I don't even think I'm going to get that fill because I was looking for a bounce up, and I thought I had some hope here when it came back above 12 because I'm sitting right here in the 12 north of 60 into the 70s, and I'm like, oh, you can go another 70 cents. Nope, down it goes through 11.66. So still trending to the downside. Not going to touch this one. And the other one that I'm thinking of maybe stepping into if it comes up high enough is Asana. Asana maybe around that 30 level. Again, it's got to come up. It's got to come up enough too. That's the only chart that actually looks half decent on the daily where it hasn't gone too far. So we'll see. We'll take a shot at Asana if it comes up high enough. But again, I'm not chasing into anything because it doesn't look like it's set up for that kind of day just yet. Things can change because one thing that can change right now, and we'll go right into the future since we're right around that 9 o'clock area, is if we snap up, if we rally up, and this is what I want to see here. Actually, this would make my life so much easier. If we were to rally right above this high here, this overnight high, 90 through 92.50. If we rallied right through there into that 4,400 and then failed, essentially what I would say is get into this zone and fail. At that point, I'd be more comfortable with the idea of a short because being this far down doesn't really help. This far down means there's support here. I pull it back to not the daily, let's pull it back to the 60-minute, and all you see is support, 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 support across the board through the bottom, right? We have support pretty much all the way down to 50. So in the event you want to go against this support zone, you need it to bounce, you need it to fail, you need to control the risk because it's a highly, highly dangerous trade to go for the short priced at 80. You can't price a short at 80 knowing that there's this much support down here. So you've got, if you're going for the short, you've got to price it higher. And I'm thinking into the 90s, into the evens, and I'm willing to use, where's my level? I'm willing to use 10 as my stop. So that'll be the top end of this yellow line. So as long as we bounce up and then show me that we can fail, that's a low risk short. I can take that shot, see if we can actually get down towards the support level bottom, The flip side of this, it continues down through here. And of course, it can grind through here and get past that support zone. But I mean, that's a high risk position for a short. If you imagine going short right into a support level, I mean, you may win, but the chances of you winning are much lower. It's probably not worth the risk reward at that point. So that's why I'm trying to avoid doing anything around these prices unless we bounce. We need that bounce to get going. I also don't trust this 50 enough to go for a long. So I am looking on the short side for the futures. We just need to get going another maybe 15 to 20 points to the upside and then fail, at which point I will step in on the short side.
Stuff. Thanks, Arun, for that. LMAO, possibly the best SPAC ticker ever. LMAO. Halted news pending currently. So they've obviously found their deal partner potentially. So heads up on LMAO, guys. Let's get into what else is moving around here in the pre-market. If you haven't done so yet, that is the link for the watch list we send out every morning before we come on at 8:30. Absolutely free to you. Let's jump into Snap, guys. We mentioned it briefly at the beginning there, but what do we do as far as a trade is concerned? As we said, not really doing a heck of a lot here in the pre-market after not as bad, I guess, of a report as expected.
No, I mean, we have it here, excuse me, on our sticky note. I want to talk, I mean, we have Gap. We have a lot of stuff we're looking at. I was looking at that same level for GPS there. I'm actually waiting at 1250, but we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, right here, we just said Snapchat, limited movement. We're going to watch the 28 level, maybe some popcorn coming out right there. So daily active users, we talked about that on our sticky note as well. And here's GPS. I was looking, I mean, I hope we can get that shorter, and I don't think it'll come out for that for us. Wow, right now it's Cliffs making a nice move to the upside here for me. Okay, Snapchat right now. You know, I thought the quarter was pretty good, but come with some price target cuts, which is surprising to me. Revenues beating, guiding, everything conservative. That was the problem on the conservative guide and not really giving anything here. What I see for Snapchat is a daily active user up 18% since the last quarter. That's a great number for them. Revenue growth 20 to 25%. They came out with 38%. So, I mean, almost a double on what was expected on that side of things. But the thing is that, you know, they were on track apparently to hit 44% revenue growth until Russia-Ukraine came out, and then that got snapped back a little bit. And then all of a sudden here, now 7 brokerages cut their price target here on Snapchat today. So again, not great guidance moving forward here for Snapchat. And apparently they just didn't like the fact that they were talking about, again, and we don't, I mean, I don't have too many notes on this, just saying that many advertisers have paused their campaign for advertising. And I think that warning came out the other day, and we saw what happened there with Facebook, right? Facebook had that report come out and cited that they saw some possible revenue declines coming through for Facebook as well on the advertising side. And that tanked that stock to right now, you know, March lows, and actually trying to take down this 180 March low. So I'm feeling like Snapchat has a big downside here, but honestly, when you're looking at the daily chart, this is what's coming into mind, this 28 that we touched in March, again, those lows. But this little thing here was, we talked about this yesterday with Greg, and that is that this is when Facebook got hit. February 2nd, Snapchat was $34. It touched down to 26. Then the very next day, it ripped up 80%, up to 37 on their earnings. So last Snapchat day, earnings was up 80%, right, on daily active users, and some similar numbers to what they posted now. So I am surprised that we're down today. Not down, but flat on the day, which is a surprise to me. I think the quarter looked pretty good. So maybe there's something bad brewing with Snapchat here. And if they don't want to buy it, then to me it only has one direction, and that's going to be to the downside. So I'm just going to wait on it. I don't really have any targets here. I'd rather have it open up, Arun, see what Snapchat does, and then just move on from there. So I don't really look for anything. If we do take down 28, I think that's a short, but let's see how it gets there. The imbalance locator right now, nothing. I didn't even see Snapchat on here the first time I looked, and I don't even see it now. So, I mean, if there's this much interest on, you know, this is earnings day, and I don't even see them on here for 100,000 shares. Like, so I don't know, man. I'm not super interested in this name. I don't think there's a trade here until we get to that 28, and we'll test that March bottom. So I think you just sit on your hands until that comes through.
Yeah, I got nothing else. It's going to be all about that 28 level. You either go for it on the short side, or if you're willing to be brave enough, maybe a dip down south of 29, you take a shot on the long side. But the daily doesn't exactly look too pretty if you were to get through that 28, and that's a big thing right now. It's like you have two choices. You can go for the long if you want to on a dip, or you can just go for the break. Me personally, because of where the market is, I'm not too fond of going for the long right now, so I'd rather just go for the single trade, which is the 28 break. If we get that, we get that. If we don't, hey, I'll walk away from that. I may change my mind. I say that now, but I may change my mind if trades are very hard to come by and Snap starts making a move around these 29s and they start building some support. I'll be like, you know what, maybe there's a late session run to the upside where I can actually go for a long against the 28. But for the time being, only that 28 break is what I'm looking at, but that could change over as the day goes on and things maybe thin out a little bit. Brendan.
Worth a note on Snapchat, just out, guys, there at 9 o'clock. They announced this deal with Tenuti, which is a global marketing firm. So strategic partnership with Tenuti for the remainder of 2022. Maybe they would benefit from a little more marketing, apparently. So that note as well for Snapchat. Let's go to Gap. Some corporate headwinds to come, some executive changes at the company as well as they're talking about supply chain disruptions. They absolutely slashed their Q1 forecast. They're set to report May 26th, I believe it is, for Gap, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Gap, again, another name that's on both of our minds here. It's on the watch, it's on the sticky note. Look, execution issues at Old Navy, not good. What was it, the head of Old Navy stepping down? Yeah, it's head of its Old Navy brand, Nancy Green, leaving the company this week. So that's not good either. Obviously, you just mentioned it, headwinds, execution problems, supply chain issues at Gap. And what a sad story this is, man. Kanye, I think, maybe robbed these guys blind as well, maybe. I don't know if he got an equity position or they paid him in cash. That Kanye hoodie that they tried to sell for $130 or something like that, a Gap hoodie that's a little baggier than normal or whatever it was there. And I don't even hear anybody talking about that anymore. And you could see, look at all these huge red candles. I mean, that's actually a green one. But all these dumps here for Gap coming through. Let's just, again, this 1250 is right there. That's $13, that bottom into this area. So if we can retrace back up to 13, then hey, man, I'm going to be sitting there with shorts, like just getting ready to go. I'm already sitting at this 1250 area to take a short. That's where we gapped down from yesterday. Well, yesterday was $14, but that little level right there, 1250 is sort of what we're looking at. And I'm just going to wait to see, again, like it's too low right now to take anything. These are already 2-year lows. I haven't had much luck like hitting these lows off opens or playing breakouts right now. The market is way too jumpy. Look at this, man. Gap, even as we start to talk about it, starting to go lower and lower here on the minute chart. But yeah, we can break this down technically as much as we want, but honestly, I feel like it's the same as Snapchat. You're going to go back over, look at this thing and see how it's trading and hopefully be able to find a trade. Right now, I don't know. I could have been short and probably should have been short up here at $12. Sat down here at 8:30 when the show started. We all had an opportunity to short this thing, and now it's just all the way down 50 cents. So even 50 cents on $12 is like a big move down. That's 3.5–4% down, and it's just made that in an hour, or less than an hour. So yeah, this name is going to get hit here off open, unfortunately for Gap shareholders. I know there's a lot of people talking about it. Let me just look to see what the PE is on this thing, because this is low. What's up, Brad? How's it going, man? The PE on this thing is a whopping, Brendan, and maybe you can confirm this, but we don't need to because I believe in this. Their forward PE, their current PE, 23, right? But now with these guides, and again, this probably has nothing to even do with today's guide, but you're down to 6 now. Retail has been getting absolutely slapped. Gap continues its move to the downside here. I think it's a forever short until their earnings on that May 26th and they can prove everybody wrong. But right now, people leaving the company, Arun, execution issues on one of their brands, and blaming supply chain, and we know retail is weak. Consumer confidence right now not at high levels. You have the interest rates going up. You have, but again, Brian Moynihan of Bank of America talked about how the consumer is strong and there's more money right now in accounts than there's really ever been. So I don't know. We're going to wait to see. But Gap should be strong heading into the summer months. People flipping up their wardrobes, buying new clothing. But if they're going to guide lower and say that sales aren't great, that's not the time to do it. Gap to the downside. We just need to find some levels.
Yeah, I'm not going to chase it. Well, I put the order in, again, like I said, this morning, and I thought I had hope that north of 12, we could actually get into that 50 to 70 area so I can actually jump on some shorts. No, it's still continuing. So I actually canceled my order. At this point, this is getting, like, I don't need it to bounce back $1.20 or so for me to get a short, because the trade could be completely different at that point. So for me, that short is, I'm going to move away and find something else, but gap's still trending. This is the problem, because a lot of these names, what you've seen is when it starts leaking like this, it just accelerates at the open, right? So if there's a sell side imbalance on gap, keep an eye out for this one, because it could actually get going. But for now, we're going to walk away from it. We'll come back to it later. Maybe it gets into some prices that we can actually work with later on after setting up some new levels. But for the time being, I'm going to walk away from gap. No read there. I thought initially on a snap up, I would go for the short. Not thinking that now. So we'll walk away, come back to it later, maybe.
All right, day 3 for Netflix here, holding basically where we ended the session yesterday after, I mean, relatively speaking, we saw that big sell-off late in the day specifically for the overall market. Netflix, held up relatively well. Back to 220 here. We tested that low again off the bat yesterday morning. Do we get down there again today for Netflix?
Oh, man. I just want to give a big shout out to Laura. Thank you, Laura, for filling in for Valeria, who's at a dentist appointment. Hopefully she'll be able to come through here at some point. And then hit the like button, hit the subscribe, everything like that. And Nicole, I understand. Trust me, my wife is like all over social media. And I understand as well that Kanye West's stuff sells out in a heartbeat right there. What I was getting at more was the fact that some of these companies, like we've seen it with Cody, for example, with the Kardashians and things like that. And that is that when you get these sort of sponsors and you bring these guys on, sometimes the stock gets bumped up and gets a different valuation because of expectations for that. And again, Gap, I don't think was ever trying to make money off any of this Kanye stuff, like I said there. But it's just like I assume they're not getting the follow through with people buying other clothing from them. It looks like they just want to buy that hoodie. And again, I don't know the deal that a guy like Kanye or someone like a Kardashian or any of these spokespeople have. I mean, we have Shaq pumping water, Carnival Cruise Lines, all these things. And I just feel like right now, celebrity endorsements, might not be getting the money back on that. And that's all I was saying for Gap. I thought Kanye coming on board was a good thing for them and that the stock would not be at 2-year lows right now. But again, nothing to do with Kanye. I actually like it's actually Trader Prad's favorite artist. And for me too, I really like Kanye West. So for everybody there, I tend to listen to hip hop more than rock or anything like that. So, okay, let's go to Netflix. We talked about Netflix yesterday. It's not on my radar today, but it probably should be. We have that 222 level. That's been pretty key, even going back into yesterday and the day before. Maybe if I can zoom this back out a little bit here. There's 222, and you're going to see right there, 222 came into play yesterday on that high. It was a big move up to 228, which coincided with some aftermarket levels on that move back in. 222 right into here was very, back and forth little level that we jumped off around on its earnings day. You see the big dump off there. Boom. We had that great short at 250, wound up cashing half out at 243 or 244, then the other half down there at 221. So those were good trades. But if we zoom it back out right now, Netflix doing nothing. Yesterday we had this exact call. Embarrassed that we don't have it on. Yesterday's sticky note said, watch out for a flush back down to 212, right? That's exactly what we got, and then go long, and that's exactly what happened. So could we test down here again? Easily. And this time, if we test it, I'm thinking it's going to break. Like, why would it get back down here to test more support? We already know that 212 held on the first day when it was down 40%. 212 held yesterday as it tried to make that move back down. So I think you got to watch out for this 212 area. I think it's going to be a short if we get into there. And normally you don't test 1, 2, 3 times. And this time, if it's going to come back in, maybe it just looks better on a 20-minute, which I can't find right now. So maybe that chart is closed. But there it is, Netflix 20 minutes right here. So there's that 212 coming back into play one more time. So, in there, back in yesterday that we called that. So to me, I think you can look for a breakout of 230. That's the top, which is actually 228. But for right now, Netflix, it's on my mind, but I think it's something that we wait until that comes back down into that 212. Look at Cliffs right now. We averaged into this position down here at 31. It's been a nice trade back in. That first take at 31.70 was a little early. I even said that to Brent and to you guys, like, why am I even trading in the pre-market? I don't seem to have much luck, but it comes right back into the sticky note level. We talked about it right here. Support, look, Cliffs, great quarter. Support, 31. Let's just wait for it. So if I would have done that, we'd now be 40 cents in the money. But we bought it here at 31.20. We bought it again at 31.04. And now you get some nice little upside moves in Cliffs. And then there goes VLON right now, guys. Let's go. I'm sitting at 24, looking to take it. There it is. Bang! Now we're rocking with the good stuff. So we'll go, oh my God, because that was a good average into VLON. As right now it's starting to take it out to the upside. We're long VLON at 12. Made money on this name. Making money on Cliffs. So far, so good here. But we are talking about Netflix. Any interest on anything other than those high and low levels?
I'm actually not even interested in even those high and low levels. Netflix is, the thing about these kind of names is that they're hot when they're hot, and as soon as you get past that, it gets very, very messy very quickly. And that's what's happened. Netflix was great through that 250 that day, and then you can be all over, you could be in on the short all the way pretty much down onto the close where we had that rally up. And then after that, it gets very, very messy. I tried a short yesterday, which rallied up against me, so I ended up losing yesterday in the pre-market or right at the open, and then it fell off and then bounced back, and now we're right back into that range where there's a chunk of volume pretty much sitting. If I were to open this up, it's pretty much from here all the way down through there. So I'm not going to participate. Even if you get through that bottom, it gets messier now because it could just be another false move to the downside. There's other names there that haven't done this yet. When you do this kind of a move, it's a problem. This is what you've got. From 350 all the way down to 220. Now it's time for Netflix to get messy. So I'm going to move this to the side. We'll come back to it maybe next week or something like that. But for now, Netflix, no go.
VLON, Sean was mentioning back to highs once again. Huge volume on that. Just worth a note on VLON, guys. 3 million float on that. So potentially a halt candidate there for VLON. Let's talk Tesla. As we said, a couple of price target increases, more positive talk surrounding Tesla this morning from analysts. No real significant news. I mean, it got back above 1,000 right at the end of the day, guys, but heading back southbound right now with the market.
I'm just trying to find out for pay for shorts here for VLON because we just got something out, man, like 33s, 34s. The high goes to 35. We didn't have any 35s out there. Right now we're waiting for some 38s, but I'm going to go find out to see how much it is to pay for short. Come on, let's go, VLON. Yeah, that's a 3 million share float. Okay, this should be a good one for us right now as we are reloaded up into this one. Some monster winners on board right now. 27 cents here for VLON and 30 cents for Cliffs. But let's go over to Tesla right now. And again, I did not put this on the sticky note, but we did have a little, darn it, man. I thought it would be maybe going the other way. Look at the NASDAQ though, man. And again, when I sat down and started to make some of these lists, some of these ideas, we were cruising for the NASDAQ. It's a complete turn here. No idea why, other than trend and other than the market. So Tesla, like I said, this is not a name I don't think that you really want to be in right now. They came out with what was a great report, but look what happened, man. Sold off all day yesterday, including an 11%. It was one of my top stocks because we went long early off momentum, and then we're able to sniff it out, get out here at 80. Like we got out yesterday at 1080, right? That's 8% to go on Tesla. So, I mean, this name is violent, and you just got to watch out for this 995. I'm super nervous about that level. Arun's going to have a longer level. I believe it was 970, not to steal your fire, but he'll discuss that level. I just think on a daily chart right now, that 1025 is going to be a great long, but I'm not looking long. So if you're going to flip the chart around, then I think this is a short down up there at 1025. Prove me wrong, the market. If it wants to rip up, great. But why? What's the motivation right now for anybody to come in to buy Tesla? Honestly, they just came out with their numbers yesterday. They were great. But until the market flips itself over, then honestly, people are going to sell winners. And right now, Tesla's a winner. No matter what you're going to say about this name, we just moved 30% from these March bottoms of 750 up to 1100. That's 30% on a trillion dollar company, on a $1 trillion company, 30%. move there. So that's the kind of movement that can happen if the NASDAQ gets going. But you need the market to go. They're still above the 50 period. They're still above the 200 period here, Tesla. So you got to like them. But how much? That's another story. So we'll wait to see. I'm not a buyer of Tesla until we can see the NASDAQ turning around. And right now, every minute, the NASDAQ is ticking lower right now. So for me, it's a hard pass. And you know what's working out right now? Look at Cliffs, all the way back now to 60. This is what I told Fahad earlier. He's like, what do you like today? I said, you know what? You got to stay away from some of those NASDAQ names. Let's go to names that have been working. Cliffs is one that's working. Tesla right now isn't.
Yeah, and Tesla is going to be that 970. Again, I don't trade Tesla. I'm just putting the level out for you guys if you guys care. 970 held really well day of the earnings and previous days before that. So if we're going to break to the downside, it's going to have to be through that 970, break to the upside north of 1100. That's about it. Everything in the middle, you're going to have to maybe be quick about it. You get in on the long, you get out, take your profit, walk away, whatever that, based on your risk reward is. The lower we go, though, I'm noticing this here on the futures. We were falling. We're still falling, actually. The lower we go into this area, into these 70s, the more of a chance there's an opening snap up. So we're starting to hit low-end support levels. And again, I mentioned it when we did the futures, there's a ton of support down here. So as we move lower and lower in the pre-market, and we've seen this in the past 2 days, maybe 3 days, before yesterday, actually, we saw opening buy-side programs come in and move the market very aggressively to the upside. So I'm very curious, after having such a big down day, us hitting pretty much support levels, large support levels, and pre-market movement to the downside. Once the equity side gets going, are these futures going to catch a buy-side move and bounce right off these support levels? So that's what I'm kind of watching out for. That's why I'm not chasing into any other shorts. I've got the Marvell short where I want it priced. Everything else, I've got 2 orders out, much higher than where we are. We're waiting on Lulu, we're waiting on Asana, and that's about it. I'm not going to step into anything else. Tesla, like I said, 970 or 1100, depending on which way we go.
On to yesterday, we were talking about Nucor a little bit with a huge quarter. Resource stocks have been, amazing over the past month or two. Today, Cliffs crush it. I mean, it's a steel company, obviously, but Cliffs crushes their best quarter basically ever. So CLF up big time here this morning.
Hey, look, I mean, this is exactly the play that I like right now, CLF coming into today. I mean, look, trade stocks that are working, and I mean, that's the whole point. Right now, Metal's working. I mean, I know it's been pretty choppy right into here, but again, waiting for earnings. They get the earnings that they're looking for now. And I think you can take out this 32 level. So that's sort of what we're looking at for CLF right now. Just reviewing some of those numbers that came out. I mean, yeah, great. Post-adjusted earnings of 171. Remember that earnings of 171 a share when the street was looking for 146. So yeah, Cliff's working out, man. We have 40 cents now in the money on CLF as it's starting to fill out some of these levels as we start to go back up to the upside. Again, low volume today, but finally a company that's making some money. That's great here. Coming into Friday, Cliff shares have been over 36% to the upside this year. So you add another 6% onto that, you're over 40% this year on a name that's been, we just got a 65. Oh, it's at 65. Okay. We just got a 65 fill there for Cliffs. So that's a great trade there. But yeah, working out well. I like the name. And again, we just used 31 level just to come back in. Nothing really on the daily chart or the 20-minute or anything like that to look at for $31. Really the area to get concerned about is if we break back down below 30. So that's now what I'm going to be worried about on that downside there. But other than that, man, 99 problems. Cliff ain't one right now because this is moving nicely. Nice little upside moves. This is 31 right into here that we've already protected off of that bottom. But again, these are all made today. Nice move to the upside. If somehow we come back in here, like better earnings, the right industry, I believe, right now. So if Cliffs can somehow come down to $30, we're going to be loading the boat up on that. No more buys for me. We're long at 31.14. We've already taken profit on this. It's a nice win for me today. Couldn't be happier with the 2 pre-market trades I have, Velon and Cliffs. So right now I am sitting around 30.50 to see if we can get a fill off the open to make that come downside. Just quickly here, nothing on the imbalances to talk about. There's Cliff right there. A nice little buy buy for us. Twitter's a buy, Disney's a sell, Snap is a sell, but these aren't big values. So for me right now, we'll sit on Cliffs. Like I said, that's it. Let's sit on this trade. Maybe it works. We had a monster trade with IBM yesterday as well, $1.50 on them breaking out. Look at look at IBM off earnings right here. Great earnings call for them the other day, 125, and look what's happened to them. Just 125 is where they're at. Earnings comes out. Now you're up to 140 on IBM. So let's see if Cliffs, which is now taking off even more there, nice little upside move for Cliffs and for Velon. So yeah, so far so good here in the pre-market with NASDAQ imbalances, Arun, coming out right now. So before I throw over to Brendan, or if there's anything you want to say about Cliffs, the NASDAQ right now coming out, and I don't really see anything TQQ on there, so that's something to watch out for, but these values are pretty low. NASDAQ rocking and rolling here in the pre-market. Looks like it's trying to tick higher.
Yeah, NASDAQ somewhat on the small side for imbalances, and then Cliffs. I'm going to look at the opposing side, which is going to be maybe a fade of this rally to as we move up. We've got a ton of resistance on the daily, so maybe with the strength that Cliffs got, it's at 31.62 right now, which will put us right around here in the previous highs. If we get into 32 and start to kind of rotate a little bit, I think shorts are in play for Cliffs, regardless of the strength. I just want to set it up inside the zone, go for the short, put 34 as your high break, and then just call it a day and see how far it wants to go down. But that's the only read. I respect the strength, but I'm watching out for some shorts on Cliff. Brennan.
All right, give me my take on VLON. Again, 3 million share float, so that's point A. This chart is a daily chart. I wanted to show you this because there's no pre-market data on this chart. So if you go to a daily chart without any kind of pre-market trading in it, there's actually a monster gap that shows up on this chart. So 250 becomes that gap level on VLON. We're just below that right now, obviously, but 250 going to be very important. Again, 3 million shares could be a halt candidate for VLON.
I see you, Chastesk. Don't you dare short Cliff. I mean, it's not up to me. It's up to Cliff. If Cliff wants to start failing around 32, I may have to, unfortunately. Regardless of, again, I'm not looking for it. If it just sets up, I'm just the guy. Don't shoot the messenger. The stock is telling you what it wants to do. If the stock wants to go up, it's going to continue going up. But if it starts to fade out, I'm going to have to go on the opposing side. But for now, with about 3 minutes left, what's the market doing? Yep, we got a nice little bounce off that 70 level. Again, this is the area where if we're going to bounce, this is probably going to be the area we're going to catch a bid. So let's see how this goes into the open at 9:30. With the amounts being somewhat small, not getting much action on either any of these tech names or the tech index heavyweights that actually move these indexes. So here we are kind of just waiting for this market to open. It looks somewhat sideways, but this could be deceptive though. It starts like this. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, where did this come from? Some sort of aggressive move. So we'll watch out for this. Watch out for something because, it'd be pretty boring to sit on Friday after a big move like this to finish off the week with a, whimper like this, just go sideways. I mean, it's realistic because of yesterday's move, but at the same time, it's not exciting for us as traders. We want some movement, preferably for me, get north of 90, fade out. Let me go on the short side. I'll work the shorts back towards that support zone, see if we can't break it. If we were to continue down, that's a problem for me just because I don't know how to work the shorts if we keep going down. I know how to work the shorts through the top, but not through the bottom. So we're going to wait, and we are getting a bounce now. It does look like it wants to bounce towards 80, so maybe we do get a run up after the open. Again, it has to set up though. Unfortunately, this could be one of those trades that takes some time to get going, but once we get going, we are committed to it.
Okay, so on the sticky note, we have AMD written on there. I'm also looking at Apple right now to talk about that. We are looking short Apple into 167 right there. If we take out 168, then we can maybe get out of that trade. But, I think Apple right now has kind of been barcoding near the top. We've seen some of these plays here. If the NASDAQ fails, you're really close to a failing point here for Apple. So let's take the short into 168 and see what happens. Same thing with AMD. We wrote that down on our sticky note today. Some key levels here talking about short has been fire, man. We've actually really hit the short really well. For those of you that have watched me on the show trade this AMD yesterday, we had numerous reloads in here. My number one stock of the week was yesterday with AMD and the way we traded it. So we're going to do the same thing. We have 92 as a key level. Let's start to build now around 90.50. That might be a little early. Let's wait for 91 here just in case it comes back up into that level off a nice little NASDAQ rally. And I'm talking really fast because we almost have this market ready to rock and roll. I see them over there. It's the T.Tony ready to go. 92. We break 92, I'm gone, and we'll reevaluate, man. We're not going to stick around in this name. Let's go, Velon. Velon right now taking off. Let's go, Velon Musk. Right there to the upside as we're starting to go through 240, 243. I'm sitting here at 240, 250 to see if Elon Musk can get higher here. Cliffs as well. Nice little move to the upside. Now fading back in with only 20 seconds to go. My mind's right now just going to be on AMD. See if we get some of those fills. See if we get some of those Apple fills as well. The countdown is now on with only 10 seconds to go. Let's get ready to rumble here. Velon trying to go. We have our outs with only 4, 3, 2, and 1. Kill it.
All right, and we are open. What are we doing here? Marvell starting to move, I guess. I don't know. It's up 30 cents right now. Let's take a quick look. Is that on the spread or is it actually moving? Oh, it's actually
spread right now.
It's actually moving.
Yeah,
it's actually moving now through 59, 60, 70. So we're working to the downside a little bit right now. And there it goes. Snaps right back. So we are getting some movement. Futures bounces to the downside.
Kind of.
This doesn't help my case. Come on, let's get a move to the upside. This doesn't help me. Yes, I'm short, but I want to step into the futures, which means I need a bounce.
NASDAQ is ripping. Well, no, the NASDAQ is like, wow, so up and down here, so choppy, as they say. Okay, Cliffs, look at that, Fahad. Cliffs taking out 32 right now as we go to the upside. Bang! What a good trade that's turning out to be right now as Cliffs. We are on one more time, Ed. I just hope this isn't my highest spot all day right now as Cliffs ripping up. That was a good idea. See if we can get some 32s out right now on Cliff Natural Resources. $1.50 now in the money. We'll take those 32s. Thank you. Come again, fine sir. And look at Velon. Come on, baby. Just do a halt up to the upside right now as Velon taking off. Your boy is just monstrous right now as there goes Velon up through 250, takes out 260. We're long Velon right now, $2.04. So that's a good trade for us. Upside on VLON right now, already 30% in the money on this position. And yeah, everything working out for us. I'm just waiting for a halt on this name. Let's see where it needs to go to get to that. It should only be about 25 cents. So this could halt anytime. Velon to the upside. It's a smoke show over here, guys. AMD also trying to make those moves. We are looking at shorting 90.50, but we're not in this name yet. Let's see if it goes a little higher into some of those levels that we like, 91 and change for AMD.
Yeah, so the only positions you can see on the board there, I've got Marvell from this morning, and I've also picked up Asana on the opening move to the upside, a flush to the upside right towards that 30. So I had an offer pending up there, as you can see here. So that one got filled as it kind of rushed right up there towards that 30, got the fill, and then it fell back. So already that one's up 40 cents because of the way I've priced it. So we're doing good on Asana. We've got Marvell up 13 cents. Those are the only two futures. Now, are we getting a bounce off these 70s? Okay, let's go. Because I actually am rooting for a bounce back up only because I want to short it. So,
oh my God.
Unfortunately, we are there goes Asana. Okay, Asana, 65 cents in the money, making a move. Okay. Cliff, Chastas, there you go. Cliff didn't want to give me the short. It's still moving strong. It was at 32. Now, I did say, though, if we start to fade out a little bit, I will go for the short, but it's strong. Respect it. I will respect it. I will back off. Now, nothing to do here, not yet anyways, on Cliff. So respect the strength, leave it alone, see if we can get something later on. I am looking at a couple other names that are popping in. Too early on the short side, though.
Yeah. We literally missed AMD by 1 cent. We're sitting at 90.90, like I was telling you guys there. So we miss a monster trade by 1 cent there on AMD. But I just was like, you know what? I'll just take this right now. Small amount of shares down here. Now it's starting to rip up. Okay, so maybe we'll get this coming back in right now. So let's see if that is the case. Up to 90.90. I'm still sitting right there. You know what? I might as well just honestly just change that price. Let's go a little bit different. I took some more out on Velon there because it did not halt. So to me, that could be another key spot. Okay, here we go. So now we're starting to get back upside here on AMD. So we'll take another short in there. We get that 90, 70. Now we'll wait a little bit higher. So we're right into the same level that we liked before. Let's see if that goes. But we can't be too short here because we just got into an Apple trade as well. The NASDAQ is blowing to the upside. Our target 68.50 or so. We'll get out of this. If it takes down 168.25, we don't need to be in all these shorts. We're just trying to play short here because of what we've seen over the last couple of days. We will give these all up. So right now, let's just look at the strength here in the NASDAQ, starting to pop back up. So obviously, some of these shorts that we have on are going to get squeezed out right now, but not squeezed out. We're just having to massage these positions a little bit.
There you go. There, the market's bouncing. I like this. Let's go. Yes, I'm short, but I like this because I want to get some shorts. But the market needs to get going to the upside. Come on now. We just need another 15 15 points or so to the upside to get going. I'm noticing strength in Apple, good thing. Microsoft, good thing. Because
You're gonna have to put in the chat and stuff.
Facebook, why is Facebook up 2%?
Can't hear.
What is this? Facebook to the upside?
We have Brandon now, quickly.
All right, Brendan.
All right, guys, huge volume alert there on Snap back through 30. So, yeah, the market going, Snapchat trying to go as well.
Yeah, okay, Snapchat trying to go through 30 now. Okay, all right, so just a quick update. We are now still 89 cents, dollar in the money on Cliffs, but we are getting lighter on that one. I know Arun's looking for that short, making me nervous, bro. Okay, Velon went all the way up, you know, to 270 there. Wow. Like, I was just waiting for this thing to halt. So if it's not going to, I'm going to put another offer in the 60s just to take some more out. Was really just hoping for that halt. Okay, look at this tank. Yes. Boom today, Arun. We are very, very patient with this play. AMD to the downside, Apple to the downside right now. Let's take something out here. We are expecting a much bigger move down in, but there it is, man. That 168 definitely respected that. Gimme, gimme never gets, but right now we don't know our manners yet because we are going to the downside right here. AMD downside, 30 cents in the money. Apple $1 right now. Cliffs $1. Velon 50 cents, man. We're 4 for 4, and we've got 2 shorts and 2 longs, man. Let's go. This is Stock Picker's Paradise.
Yeah, unfortunately, that one bounced. As I get excited, I'm like, ooh, now maybe I can get my short. Nope. There goes the market to the downside as we now have broken 43.60 or 43.70 to the downside, and we're working on the bottom end of the range. Yeah, I'm in the money on the shorts. That's fun, but futures would have been so much better. Anyways, here goes the market to the downside, and I guess next up is 60. 60 would open up the door. On the daily, yeah, it would have taken out the low of, what day is that, the 18th? 18th, let's put it up on the 60-minute chart. That opens up the door, yeah. I still worry, like, I wouldn't feel so comfortable off the short just because of where we are. There's a ton of support here. We need to grind through this level to get going to the downside. We need to crack 43.50, which is still 20 points away. So this back and forth that you're seeing in the market as it snaps down, snaps up, that's expected because of the amount of strength that's down here. That's why I'm not chasing after shorts at specific prices or at these prices. I'm waiting for pullbacks to get the shorts. Like the Asana short was caught on a pullback off the open or a snap up off the open, and then Marvell was actually set up. I've got one more order waiting, but that's not getting filled because the market's not gone high enough to get that filled. So I am waiting, but I refuse to come down. There are certain times where you gotta come down to get your fills. And there are certain times where you got to be stubborn about it and be like, it's too much risk to come down. I got to wait at specific prices to get my fills. If I don't get the fills, then let me miss the trade. Brendan.
Airlines, guys, we were wondering if they were going to be strong again today. Looks like it. AAL trying to lead here back to the upside through 21 there on volume for American.
Okay, yeah, we did that yesterday, American Airlines, and that kind of fell through. All right, we've been just getting out of some Apple. Apple went all the way down to VWAP right there. So that's where our first out was 06. We took some 20s. I mean, we're short right now. It's a nice trade. So cannot complain about that. Okay, well, I got some more out in the 50s on Velon, but we still have about 40% of our trade. So maybe now it will try to halt. I'm going to cancel that 60 offer. Now that we've cleared some out, let's just try to hit that home run, which you've already hit on this name. I don't really have, I mean, that was a good out down there, 89.90 or so, 89.85 actually for AMD, but right now we're trying to test back in here. So we don't have the reload on, but we have good positions right now, and I can't be happier with them. 90s, $1 in the money, both Apple, and look at Cliffs. Look at Cliffs right now. 32.70. We're long 31 right now. $1.50 the money on this name. So again, try to trade strength. Try to trade those names that are blasting upside on great numbers there. So that's Cliffs. I'm waiting in the 70s to get out. I don't know why. Just a random area there. And then there goes Snapchat. We said we'd look at it if it started to make a move. There's the move back up to the upside. The problem is, man, I'm working with fire here, Arun, as AMD right back down to the downside. Apple completely coming in right now as well. Apple $1.10 in the money. We knew we wanted this name and we hit it, man. And there it is, man. We like it so much. We hit that twice. Boom, boom, up to 168. Good trading here. I'm just going to hold on to these shorts. And really, man, I think I'm going to just, again, channel my inner you. Let's go to the low side here. Let's see if Apple wants to test some of these bottoms. But I am aware of what you said, Arun. Maybe there's too much support here for this to completely crack, but we're getting some out. Let's see where we go from here. The market is on fire once more.
Yeah, obviously I can't get my hands on these shorts here, on any of these plays here, apart from the two that I have, and obviously not the futures. I just quickly saw what Derek Campbell there posted about the European session.
What's he saying?
He's saying that he was able to, they took out the highs, then went for the short, and they actually came right back in. Okay, I've got the FESX futures contract here, which is the FTSE Euro Stocks futures, which we have access to here at Day Trade the World. So let me just pull up the chart on this, because I don't always track this one. I do keep it up sometimes if there's some stuff going on in Europe. But here, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying, yeah. This move here, right into the resistance level. Yeah, it's falling off right now. So the FTSE market, or not FTSE, yeah, the Euro Stocks 50, which is a large barometer out there, is falling off right now to the downside. So, damn, there goes the futures, there goes Europe. Why am I not filled in anything except for the two that I've got? And there goes the futures. I can't do anything with the futures now that we're gone.
Money, Bing bong, Subway is now open, and it's the floodgates right now. Cliffs. I mean, the only long we have is now monstrous $1.70 now in the money. And the two shorts that we have exactly on the sticky note, the names that we wanted to trade. AMD, proud of that. Shouldn't have got out as much, but right now we are back down 2 days low and pre-market lows starting to come in. Look at the NASDAQ. It's crack city right now. We have Apple $1.50 in the money, AMD $1.50 in the money, Cliffs $1.50. Wow, it's a magic number here. All in the money as well. And VLON, man. I mean, we got exactly what we wanted. So, you know, sometimes these small cap names don't work out for your boy, but today they did as we held that first break for us and then averaged into this consolidation and then just started getting him out. I told you, like, we were waiting for that halt. It didn't come through. It still could halt. But right now, out the majority of this trade now. And we're just going to watch some of these names just continue to fall. What else do we have on here? You know what we didn't look at yet? And maybe you did talk about it, and I apologize. But GPS is just cratering. And I mean, this is a name that both Arun and I wanted shorts, just didn't hit our levels, and it's already broken back down. You're taking down 52-week lows, scratch that. 104-week lows, 2-year lows now coming through on Gap, and nothing but downside for this name. So definitely not, I don't feel like there was a missed opportunity here. We just couldn't catch it. So that's what that was. Let's check out what Palantir's doing. I know they caught an upgrade. Nice move up, 1% up for Palantir. But again, not a name I want to be trading right now when we're short this market. This could get a nice little upside move, but I'm just really not worried about, but working with, Apple's right at this level. I'm going to take another bid out here if I can get it into the 30s here for Apple. Right down to these pre-market, there it is, yes. Right down into these pre-market levels for Apple again. And the levels that we're trying to respect from yesterday, right into here, 166. So let's see a take. Ooh, man, this is getting to be a good day, man. 166 coming in right now. So if it takes that, then we're pretty happy. And we're going to watch out for Apple here on what seems to be a sell the NASDAQ day one more time here.
Yeah, as the market clears 60, obviously we were waiting for futures positions, which never came in. So I am on the equity side. At least we're up, on Marvell. We've picked up AMAT on the short side as well, just south of 115. We're at 114.95 on the short side. I like AMAT on the setup here. Let's quickly take a look at AMAT here on the daily. The reason I'm going after this actually is because of the daily. That's not right. There you go. There's the daily. We'll see how this one plays out, but daily finally coming back in 2 days after making a bounce up into the 120s, pretty much resistance levels, down day. Here we are south of 116 into 115. We have downside action available here. Market's going down. This just broke a 115 level. We have continued action from 2 days, or third day in a row now. And why not? Why can't this carry forward? So that's what I'm looking at. AMAT on the short side. We've got Asana. All of them are in the money, by the way. AMAT, Asana. Asana's down a penny. Oh, it's up 2 pennies. It's all over the place.
It's hard not to be in the money on these shorts, man.
Well,
especially
it depends,
if you're in the NASDAQ names.
Yeah, but it depends on what you're in, though. Like
the only other name that I don't see any NASDAQ names that are up right now. Well, what is Microsoft doing? 280. Ooh, that's approaching a nice little level. That could be, yeah, that's close. That's close to being up right now. So NASDAQ, and again, look at this, man. Microsoft is right, and it just depends on if you got those shorts early. Like, we were able to sit there, be very, very, yes, Apple. There goes Apple. And I just said we were just very, very aggressive on taking those shorts. That's all, man. Like, we had our levels. They came in. And, now Bob's your uncle on $2. $2 worth of a win right now on Apple. Obviously, we wish we still had the full boat. We don't, but here it comes coming back in right now. Apple taking down these lows. We still have 30%. Wish we had more on board, but you know, again, we sort of were listening to Arun, listening to ourselves as well. We came into support here, so we got some out. I mean, I got some out at support. That's what I do. So there it comes, coming back in now. AMD is just like, and again, into support, took it out on that pre-market. We are now lower than yesterday. And wow, we now have two back-to-back jacks right now. AMD and Apple, both $2 in the money, and we continue to go. I hope you enjoy the show, man. This has been another big week, another big day. Here we go. We're on fire. Thank you, Sven. Thank you for Louisa. Thank you for Stock Hands there, or Stink Hands, whatever you want. Thank you to Research for Profit. Thank you to everybody, man. It's been a big day for me. I'm pretty happy. As I said, we're 40% out of our AMD trade, 40% left, 30% Apple. Cliffs is literally 5% left on Cliffs right now. And Velon, we still do have about 30% of that trade, so we didn't get out enough up there, but let's see what Velon does now. But yeah, this has been a great day for us. I hope you guys are having a good one as well.
Yeah, as the market continues to, we'll set up the next batch of levels that we can maybe work with now that the market is through that 50 area. Bouncing back, but
could be going back.
Still gone past that area. There's still a buy level available, by the way. So this could go far enough, which it could actually set up a buy side action towards the end of the day, which is going to be pretty much through here. It's going to be 43.40 going all the way down to 4,300. So if it goes far enough, we could actually open up the buy sides for this market. And if we lose 4,300, that's where the problem is. Losing 4,300 becomes a much bigger issue because it opens the 4,100, the low, all the way down here back in March. It opens that up if we end up taking that 43. So for now, it still has, although it's down right now with the NASDAQ being down 0.35 and the S&P down 0.81, it is going far enough into a point where there could be some buy-side availability. So I am going to look for longs. If we go far enough, I'll start looking for some longs here. We'll ride these shorts out as far as we can, but if we start hitting some buy-side levels and we start to slow down, I'm going to start dumping the shorts and start looking for some longs. But as I say that, a bunch of names are popping off on my radar here. We've got Goldman Sachs south of 330. We've got Micron floating around that 70 even level. Zoom is working to the upside, apparently, around that 102. And now Boeing is trying to attack that 180 level. So keep an eye on those. Brendan.
App guys back on volume to the upside as well. Still down 20% here. 1150 was rejected at the open there, but huge buy volume just came into GPS.
Okay, yeah, wow. I mean, AMD might, I don't know, man. These stocks have a chance to bounce back right now, which is making me a little nervous about some of these plays. Like AMD, good thing, I mean, we just got some more out there on AMD on that downside move there. Good thing we did. We took that low from yesterday. It went all the way down to 88 and change there. Now you're right back to 90 on AMD, so this is getting a little juicy. Let's try one more short there. Don't really know what's up with that move to the upside right now on AMD. Oh, man, we missed that. Okay, we got a little bit short there. Not as much as we wanted. Let's see if it gets back up closer to that 90. Maybe we'll short again here on AMD. But oh no, we missed it. Did we get it? Oh yeah, we did. We got some 70s there, 89 70s on a reload there for AMD. I don't know. I don't want to be too short because, you know, we've already gone upside. We know the potential, like I said, on a coil, on a squeeze. This market has just been accelerated to the downside. So you might want to watch out for some of these shorts now, trying to take out some of these new levels. Maybe that was a flush down there. We retested yesterday's bottom. We made that bottom wick. So I don't know, a little bit nervous right now about some of these shorts. But again, we're still like nervous. I'm $1.50 in the money on Apple. We're 90 cents in the money on AMD. But this could turn around. I do see some potential there. Are you debating the long on the futures, or you're waiting for another leg up to fill the short? Because right now I'm wondering if we did hit some of this support here.
I can't hit any more shorts on a move up. None of the ones that I would like are gonna be able to withstand a move up on the futures. So the flip side is longs if we keep going down at some point. I mean at some point. I mean yesterday there was no point. There's no chance of getting along. Today it's a different story. There's actually a potential for this market to actually catch a bid somewhere in the next 15 to 20 points, right? I would prefer, like I said, to be on the short side so I can actually just manage out, but that wasn't in the cards today. So we're going to look on the flip side of this and work that bottom end area, like I showed you guys on the chart here. Let's move this up. Maybe that's let's work this one. There you go. There's your 4340-ish down to 4300, somewhere down there. I mean, this market can just grind. Like I said, when you get through levels, it doesn't have to be quick. The longer it takes, the better it is. It means they're working the volume through the downside. So if they're going to get through this buy-side zone that I'm looking at, it's going to be done somewhat slow because they need to chew through volume. And chewing through volume is a good thing. It just means that there's buyers are willing to step in and the sellers are just being it's just on the bigger side of things. When they snap through levels, it just means there was a vacuum at some point and they were able to get through it very quickly. And then the buyer stepped in, which makes the whole thing so much messier. So I'd rather, if we're going to go down, let's just go down very, very slow in a controlled fashion through this level. That way I can see exactly where the volume is going to come from. And if in the event there's a buy-side setup, I know where to go for it. But for the time being, it does look like it wants to back off those 4350s. We are in some shorts now. A couple of those shorts are coming back in a little bit here, but I'm okay with AMAT. I'm okay with Asana. And Marvell is 10 cents in the money. Those are just fine. Even if the market were to come back, I'll take the hits on those just fine, but I'm not adding a ton more. I'm not adding longs yet, and I'm definitely not adding any more shorts at this point. Brennan.
Twitter, guys, back to day highs here. Not seeing any headlines coming through, but a little bit of volume back into Twitter, up 3% now.
I don't really need to see too many headlines. Someone must be looking at the sticky note right here. I cannot believe this. I said 48, good long break right there. 48 on Twitter, and I'm sitting here, I don't have it. So, I mean, that's pretty clean. It did bounce around a little bit. If you took, I'm not taking breakouts in the first couple minutes, so we should have looked at this as it was coming back up through, so that could have been a good trade there. We got out of the way for AMD. We cashed in our money there and got out on that 90 break. Like I said, it feels like the market's trying to change right now, so we'll cash in on that short. Good trade for me. We're still at pretty much the highest spot we've been at all day. Obviously, not the very most highest spot because AMD was in tank mode. The one long I was looking for, what about Roblox? Roblox is right at its all-time low, and it's just made it today, right back in. It's pretty choppy. I don't mind it if we take this 35.20. So let's see if the market gets going here. Roblox through 35.20. That's definitely a name that I'm looking at. Apple's starting to go back up to the upside, but not as much as a stock like AMD wanted to go up to the upside. So I'm going to still short AMD. If AMD comes back in, like I just don't want to hold it if this market is going to rip. So I'm still looking for a short somewhere in here, like 89.70, something like that for AMD. But right now, the market's profiling different than the last couple of days here. We're still going to the downside, but I feel like there could be that support at some of these levels, and we bounced off of it. So, to me, that could be something right there. VLON trying to go again. We made a move back into those teens again, and now you're back into 20. So let's see. I'm holding this for that break. Facebook is actually moving to the upside today. So this is what I mean. Things are changing a little bit here. The tide possibly changed on some of these names. So let's wait to see. Oh, Facebook, I can't. Darn it, guys. Sorry about that. There's the big move down from 192. Maybe we bought him down there as well. So let's see if tides are changing on some of these names.
Yeah, and talk about tides changing. Like aim at that short that I had. Let's get the chart up, guys. Let's pull the lower third, though. Down here, the short that I had south of 115, I was thinking, weakness. And then I started seeing strength here. So at this point, if you're not going to do what I need you to do at the prices I need you to do it, I walk away from this trade. So AMAT, we take the hit. We take the 25-cent hit, walk away. I'm okay. Taking hits to save yourself for other trades, yes. That's what you've got to do. You can't just hold on and for forever hoping that you're right. No, if you think that you're looking for something specific to happen, if that does not happen within the time frame that you're expecting it to happen, you've got to walk away from it. Taking a hit, taking a 20-cent hit now is better than holding on hope and giving up the full risk on this trade and then wondering why you held on when it's pretty obvious that this market does not want to, or the stock does not want to go through 115. So I went for the short at 150, did not like it. I'll take my 25-cent hit, walk away, call it a day on AMAT. So we're going to hold on to the other two. They look just fine. Marvell looks half decent for now. And Asana is actually, I actually like this on Asana. The fact that it's actually willing to get above 30 and repeatedly attempt to go up, which is a good thing because they're struggling to get up there. So I want to see what happens when we go down. If we struggle to go down, that's a problem. But if we are struggling to go up, that's a good thing for Asana. So for now, those are out like 6 and 7 cents. So we're going to wait on those two. I'm okay. We're taking a hit on AMAT. We're going to walk away from that. I'm still looking at Goldman Sachs as a potential short and Zoom. as a potential. I don't even know if it zooms along. I just have this trigger on Zoom here. It's a NASDAQ stock. Okay.
Yep.
I have the trigger here just set in the event that it actually got above 102 and 103, and it's actually showing some strength here. We've had a long day on Zoom here yesterday, like most names, and it just looks like, I don't know, it just doesn't have the juice to go up. I don't want to commit to a long down here. There's a lot of overhead resistance that it could run into, but I just had the alert up there just in case that it did something, extraordinary. It just took off or something and would come down. So Zoom, although it took out that 102. There's nothing doing there. So I'm going to reset the alert, put it back towards 100. If it gets through 100, I'll definitely take a look at that. Thank you, Bradley Taylor on Zoom for that 100 level mark. And then Goldman Sachs, again, we're looking at Goldman Sachs south of 330, but at the same time, Goldman Sachs is, one, expensive. Two, I'm not even sure how confident I would be on that 330 break or 330 trade with futures doing what it's doing, refusing to go through these 50s, especially when I'm thinking in the back of my head, man, support's not too far away. Maybe you can just wait out for a long. So do I want to go for shorts on Goldman Sachs right now, which is so extended too from that 334 level or 333 half, I guess, from yesterday afternoon's break point. But I'm gonna keep an eye on it, but I won't take a trade. We're just gonna hold on to the other two that we've got right now.
Okay, so we reloaded the AMD short, and so far so good here, but I mean, it just bounced off 50, so let's see if we can get another trade into 50 right there. Honestly, this is the last shot. Like, if we take down 91, we've already been up here, and we already hit that short, and it was a monster for us, so let's try to rinse and repeat, like we said right now on AMD. First, I mean, I will scout, there it is, nice little 20-cent win there for a short 70s, out 50s right there for one piece, and now we'll try to fall back down. VWAP is right there at 90.20, so let's put a bid there at 90.20 and just go into some scalping here for AMD and then hold the rest. Like, if we'll take that down, then we'll wait for some of these bottoms to come in again. If that's the trade that's going to be good for us, we'll wait to see on that one. So here it comes back in. We have our 91 out, and I don't trade blind, man. Like, we always have stops for these trades. So short, out. We're reloaded right there. We'll floss it off here because now it's coming back in. Good trade there, hopefully, for us on that one. And Apple right now coming to the downside as well. But okay, yeah, nice little move for Apple. Let's see if these futures want to extend lower. Also, new trade alert, Gap now in. We're short Gap here, now 10 cents in the money. What's up, Brendo?
SWVL, crazy mover from yesterday, just popping back up through 650. I got to get all the way back through 758 to get into some resistance from yesterday. But remember, this one halted a bunch of times during the day, guys, catching a bid.
What's up to Taco Eater? You're right, man. We roll the dice. It's so nice. We take it twice right there. Bang for AMD right there. We'll have a nice little drop that money down. As all we're doing right now, Arun, is just like catching those falling pennies. You know what I mean? Apple right now coming to the downside. AMD coming to the downside. You're now in the money on these reloads. This is how I trade. And it's been today is once again, shout out to Ice Cube. Today, so far, is a good day.
All right, somebody asking about Ava. I see you asking about Facebook. Facebook was a big mover yesterday. Sean did really well on Facebook yesterday on the short side, so we'll take a quick look at that here. After it bounces here, I need to see a smaller chart.
I was trying to look long, but yeah, I'll see.
After it bounces here, this is also the pre-market area where we stalled out around that 192.50 through 193 area. So that'll be the upside resistance level. The one that I'm really paying attention to, though, regardless of what Facebook does today, south of 188, the one I really want to take a look at, if you go back to the daily here, the low, the all-time low is going to be just in front of 185. It looks like the low seems to be 185.82, 185.82. Yeah, so 185.82 is the all-time low. We're not sitting too far away from it. 185.82 rounded down, 185 even is going to be that level. And that level, when you look at it on this chart, it's right here. So, no, right here. So there, oh, I didn't even draw it. Okay, here we go. Let's try that again. It's right here. So we are looking at that level thinking, can we get to it? Can we get to it? But right now with 189, would I go for the short? You can even argue for a 188 break short if your risk is tight enough. So if you go for the 188 short, as long as you're not risking $3 or so, because remember, there's support down here that ultimately caused us to bounce. If your risk is tight enough, you can actually go for the short and see if you actually take out the support. If the safer trade, the trade that I am more likely to make, I don't try to go against support zones unless I get a very, very good risk reward, is to just wait for the break point. which is 185, and see what that brings. Because all-time lows is going to bring some volume. What you got to watch out for, is it false or is it actually a legit break? False breaks meaning they get underneath, take out some stops, snap out, and then snap right back up and continue to the upside. So that's what you got to watch out for now. But it is looking like it wants to take a look at that, maybe possibly today, because we're only $3 away and we're about to take out that 188 level with the way it's heading right now. And there goes Facebook. No, it's not back up. Facebook was negative just for a slight second there. Yeah, there you go. It goes negative now, down 0.06% to the downside as 188 gets taken.
Yeah, I did have a new trade alert here, but I'm just debating just getting lighter and lighter on this here because although, I mean, it's been okay. We just got out for some flat there on Roblox because it only went to 30.35 into this area right here from yesterday. So let's just do this quickly. We're going to go to Brendan in a second here. But 35.40 coming right in on that top. So yeah, we need to take that out. My target is up here, 36 for this trade. And the downside risk for me is just this break right through here, 34.75, something like that. The market failed, right? So we took Roblox on this aggressive move upside. The market's failing, which is fine by me, man. We're $1.50 in the money on the Apple short, which is really the one that we wanted to try to hold. So now we can a little bit to the downside here. And everything else seems to be working out. Roblox still in the money, man. But yeah, needs to work upside here. Roblox just playing it off of its brand new 52-week low. So let's see if it gets some momentum back up to the upside. That's Roblox. GPS working as well. But yeah, we are ready now, I believe. Thumbs up, yeah, for happening now with Brendan over at the big screen.
Hey guys, Red Friday underway here. Remember I said right at the beginning of the show it was the Dow here that was the only one left in positive territory on the week. No longer, down 1% and change for the Dow now, leading the way, the S&P 0.8. The Russell here all in negative territory, NASDAQ Composite and 100 actually trying to hold things to the upside. So we are seeing a little strength so far in some of the tech stocks. Here in Toronto, TSX down about 0.5% as well. A couple of things, if you joined us in the pre-market, worth noting. Netflix, we were wondering if today was going to be the day. Gave you a bounce. It did test the high. Bit of a choppy trade so far, but I was wondering if that low from the past couple of days is going to come into play. It doesn't look like it at this point. But Netflix up 2.3%. Tesla trying to test 2% to the upside as well. Just took out pre-market highs as well, 10.20. So Tesla on the run, guys. Back over to you.
All right. I mean,
AMD. I mean, I could take it here. I don't know if I've been doing a lot. I don't know if you want to cover something there. But yeah, we got out of AMD. I mean, there it was, man. We took it down, and I said maybe the tides are turning. When the AMD's up 1.5% and the NASDAQ is flat, you know, it's not the short anymore that we thought it was. So we're up on AMD. We cashed out on it. It's a good trade for me. So pretty happy with that. Roblox does go upside. We did take a fill at 40 there, right in the level that we wanted to. I know it's only 20 cents, but we take that fill. It goes as high as 35.60. Now we're just in hold mode for Roblox. But with that being said, I do have an offer right here at 70. Again, just because yesterday's, I mean, it's not even because of anything. Roblox isn't a strong name. We know that. But if the market does want to bounce, then maybe we can get something for Roblox on that trade, but who knows? Okay, Microsoft, we got excited there. It broke through 282 and we took the long, but this might not be a long. Like, you know, you're breaking back down below right now. No problem taking a hit if we have to. Microsoft has been so choppy here today. There's my take. And again, this is the thing about our show, man. Like, we're not, these are the trades that we have on. We paint them for you. So, I mean, as much as, you know, we want to talk about our winners, we also talk about our losers. And right now, Microsoft, we just took that long. It's bouncing. I think we'll try right now more shares on this name because we just bounced off these levels. So let's try a little bit more down here. We'll take that fill right now. We'll just punch in at the 50 period, get a better average price, and let's see if Softy and the NASDAQ wants to respect this level. But if it doesn't, we'll just get out of here. A break of 280 and we're gone, 281, and we'll take this out and then just reevaluate. The shorts were hot fire, then they're not. The NASDAQ, Arun, is just so freaking choppy right now, just hovering around. This is what we expected. So we don't need to be in anything. So let's just sort of wait for these trades to come in. And as I say that, like I'm in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positions. So probably overexposed right now considering the market.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm looking at too, going, do I want, like yesterday was a different story because the read was at the price. And that's the thing, right? You got to be willing to go from, or you got to have the ability or learn the ability to go from 0 to 100 and back to 0 in terms of speed and aggression when it comes to positioning, right? Because when everything lines up, you got to go. That's when you got to make your money. So if everything that you're looking at for setups, timing, futures, whatever, all the things that you look at that are indicators maybe. I don't have indicators up on my charts, but if you use indicators, if everything lines up, you got to be willing to take your shots. If you have built out a system, then you got to be willing to take them because that's when you make your money, and then you need to back off when stuff doesn't line up the way you need them to, right? So it doesn't mean that you got to come in every day and go hard every day. That's not the game. The game is to make sure you're smart about it. So go hard when you need to, and then pull back on the gas here or step off the gas a little bit if the market's not lining up the right way. And right now, as much as the market's moving to the downside, I've only got 2 shorts, not like yesterday, because not everything is lined up. Not everything is where I want them to be. So I'm going to step back a little bit. Asana flirting with that 30 even, fine. That's out 9 cents. Marvell refusing to move to the downside past those 60s. Fine, that's up 15 cents. And I'm not stepping into anything else. I see more alerts going off. I just see that AMAT, the one that I gave up on, is now back underneath the lows. But again, AMAT's so messy at this point. I'm not going to get back into AMAT just because of what I'm seeing the market do is like we were just at 60 and now we're back at 52, and that was fairly quick. So although I walked away from AMAT with a 25% loser, I've seen what I needed to see on AMAT around these prices. So I'm going to back off. AMAT's gone for me for now, and we got some other names to look at, and I'll come back to them after we go to Brendan.
Another one to watch out for, guys. We mentioned DD in the pre-market. Some of the Chinese stocks were moving back to the upside. Here's Alibaba. Wow, nice day so far through 90 there. A bit of an alert went off for Baba.
All right. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. This is just so choppy now. Like, I want to go short, and you just mentioned that about AMAT. I mean, I just put on another trade here for Apple, and that's starting to kind of go upside. We have our Microsoft long as well. Like, why do I want to go short Apple, long Microsoft, like long Facebook, like out of AMD here right now? We can check out Rite Aid. I see you there. Beat, fantastic. Oh, nice name. Right there. Okay, AMD starting to go back up to the upside. We've averaged into this Apple trade. I'm going to get out, like, if we take 167 right here for Apple, then okay, we've changed up our mind and the market just wants to just start to go north side. So that's fine if that does happen. But Apple right now starting to go back up. Microsoft starting to put us in the money again. So that's a good one. AMD ripping. So yeah, I mean, you know what? This is definitely a turnaround Friday, I guess, is what it's looking like. So we'll try to take out this Apple if it does go back too far above 167. I just don't need to be caught in this trade. So that's what we're going to be doing. We are now loaded back up onto Apple trade. So let's see that. Look what else is working, man. Roblox right now. We said we're waiting at 70. It literally went to 68 and stopped right there. But Roblox looks like it's going to be a nice little winner for us here on the upside. But I'm going to take a piece out right now and cancel my 70 and see if we can't get a little higher than that. So that's kind of the way I trade. Looking for these trades to come out. We found Roblox at that 52-week low, obviously, earlier on. Then when the NASDAQ started to change its mind, man, we just went to a name that we knew would be aggressive to the upside if and when the market went. So there it goes, man. The market's going. We got a nice little win there on Roblox. Apple, we're short. We averaged into that. Now it's starting to come back in. My average price now is 70. We'll see if we can get a bid now at 50 to give us the 1-to-1. If I'm going to get out at 167.10 or so, or whatever the price I'm going to get out at here, north side of 167, that's going to be about a 30, well, not about, it would be a 30-cent hit. So if we can make 30 cents right now on the first piece, probably a good idea to do that. And then we'll just go from there, man. Microsoft back upside right now after trying to defend that level. So we still need this to go above 283. So we're going to hold out on Microsoft and just watch this Apple very carefully, as it looks like the NASDAQ wants to go to the upside and we're going to get taken out of this one. Still a pretty good day, man. We did a great job of managing our early trades. So a lot of this right now not overly affecting our net. But we are going to try to sit in some of these shorts and see if they'll eventually print.
Yeah, and AMD, which had not a tremendous, but like it was an absolutely horrible day yesterday, as most tech names did, and chips specifically. Micron, thank you for the money. AMD is rallying strong today. So as it's moving up into resistance, you know, obviously when you move like this, there's going to be resistance points on the way down. With the futures moving back up into that previous, I don't even want to say the futures broke support because they never did. They broke that 50 barely, hit some stops and then snap back up, and that's what I wanted to see around that 50. I did mention, what does that 50 bring? Is that 50 going to actually expand to the downside, or actually just going to get some stops out and then snap back up? So here we are watching that snap back up towards 65, and now I'm thinking, okay, AMD is going strong. Do I want to fade this or not? Because I was thinking initially, maybe I want to fade this just around that 91, but not with the futures doing what they're doing. So we're going to keep an eye on this one, but definitely not going to step into it. We're going to keep the two that we've got right now, Marvell and Asana, both out of the money, by the way, as it bounces with the market, okay? But those are fine. I like the levels. We'll work with them for now. The weak one I'm really considering is Goldman Sachs, still refusing to get above 330, so there might be a short there. Brennan.
Another one that we mentioned in the pre-market, guys, on the downgrade side of the board today, XRX, Xerox off of earnings yesterday. Remember, this thing tumbled all day long. Back to the upside, though, here, just to get some levels on volume for that one.
Okay, yeah, XRX, yeah, Xerox, a good name there. Okay, so Apple came back in and, yeah, we only took an 85 bid there. I thought I had another bid out for Apple. I guess we must not have got filled. We were waiting for that 50. Oh, it came down to 63. That's what it was. So we did not get that Apple bid. Let's put another bid down there in like the mid 60s. I just feel like this NASDAQ, I mean, look, we'll find. I'm going to cancel the 50 actually on Apple now. If I get that mid 60 bid, then we'll just take that. And then, you know, we got to have something on board, like Arun said. If we're trying to play some of these levels, there it goes. You want to have something on board. So even though like I'm not like convinced really about the short right now, but the NASDAQ is trying to tell us it's a short. It's not going back up to those day highs, but look how choppy again. Like we just moved there like 15 points in 3 seconds right there. So we'll hold this short. I still think it's going to be coming in here. We started to build it initially there, took the average price there. So now we need Apple to get back into like this 169.40, which it's doing right now. Let's take a bid. There it is. We'll just put that bid out, take another trade on Apple. We'll go mamma mia, because right now this market is falling back in for us. So that's going to be a good trade. Roblox does what? 83s there. We're waiting at 89. So, okay, Roblox, I see you dancing. I'll sit at 74 to get a little piece out, and then we'll cancel our 89. We'll get a mid-70s here, and then we'll let Roblox fly, because if the market goes up, we know we have this name. We are out of 2/3 of Roblox now. 2/3 out on Roblox. A good trade there to the upside as this market's trying now to hit some of these lows. Our AMD, though, that was really super strong. We should just have listened to ourselves. Our sticky note says get short between 91 and 92. And that's exactly the high, 91, 92 there. So I'm going to go back into this AMD trade right now and just try to see about that high of 91.40, 91.50 coming in. Let's put on a trade for AMD and see if we can't get this to go down.
All right, I'm looking at futures, nothing there. Marvell, Asana coming back in as the futures moves a little bit just to the downside. I think the interesting one is because Ava, thank you for bringing that to my attention, Facebook, it's going to be interesting to watch here because it is catching a bid here. I'm thinking, man, this long on Facebook is looking real good right now, but I don't want to take it. Again, the futures are at a spot where if it decides to break down, it opens the door to the downside. That's the problem. It's that 50 area. It's that 50 level, actually, south of 50. If it actually gets through there and they work through that level, we could actually open up a little bit. So I don't want to step into something like this, which has a very, I don't want to say very high weight, but it does have a decent weight in the indexes. Remember, all these indexes are weighted based on individual names, right? Each name has a different weight. And at the top of the list, you're going to have Apple and Microsoft, like 11% of the NASDAQ, 12% I believe Apple is, and then Microsoft is like 10 or 11, somewhere in there. It's number 1 and 2. And then Facebook's in there in the top 5 as well, I believe. So Facebook has some influence there on, or Meta now. Actually, you know what? That could have changed quite a bit after Facebook's most recent move. They may have been pushed back down a little bit in terms of weighting, but it's there, and I know it's there, so I got to respect that, the fact that, hey, with the market going down and Facebook doing what it's doing, it's entirely possible that Facebook just breaks down too with the market. So I'm going to back off a little bit here on Facebook, but I am looking at this going, man, at some point, is there going to be a long? If future sets up a long and Facebook is still around here, I think there could be a decent long against these 185s. Again, you're taking a shot there if you want to go for it, but I would prefer to see a closer move, maybe 187, something like that, so the risk isn't stupid high for a long attempt on Facebook. But hey, we came down from 202, 203. We're all the way at 190 now. Why can't we move up, right? Just like Netflix is going up towards that yesterday afternoon high. Why can't we do that too on Facebook?
I don't know, but right now we are just cashing in, man, hitting those free throws, not like Precious Achua, of course. But now to the downside on that reload for AMD. I mean, we just took it, guys, and now it's starting to make the move down. So we are short just literally 3 minutes ago on AMD, now 50 cents in the money on that name. On Microsoft, though, we will slap ourselves around on that one. Good thing we got out, man. I mean, it's just ticking lower, lower, lower right now. So Microsoft is off the board for me until further notice. And then good out again. We took another one there as we have not many shares left on Roblox, man. So as Roblox coming in, all my longs not working. Cliffs is great. We're just holding on to a small piece of this. So if you're wondering like what's going on with Cliffs, we've already gotten out of that one up to 32.60. So far so good on that name. But look at the NASDAQ pouring in right now. Elon Musk is doing nothing down here. So we'll have to wait on that one. And then, yeah, just watching out for our Apple and everything else. What's going on with our Gap right now? Gap goes up. We take that short at 70. So now we have, you know, an upsized position on this name for Gap. So coming back in and trying to retest that little level right there, which is just a 50 period. I still think like we should be able to float lower here on Gap. So looking at this 1145, put some bids maybe at 1150. We always do stuff like that, option eligible opportunities there at the 50-cent level. So we'll do that right now on Gap, but a nice averaged in from 70. What's up, Brendan?
From yesterday, just popping back up here, Redbox Entertainment was up on some changes to their board that they made in the pre-market. So 350, 340 area in the pre-market was the high there, but volume coming back in on the sell side for RDBX.
All right, Marvell. Thank you, Marvell. Going back in the money now, 13 cents. It hasn't done much. The only thing is, like, I have these positions and they haven't done a whole lot. Marvell is flat for the most part, 9 cents in the money. And then Asana's flat. I call that flat. I mean, like 10 cents in the money is somewhat flat. And the future is still refusing to get through those 50s. So here we are in like a holding pattern, waiting for the futures to either break down, take these stocks with it, or bounce back up, and then we can figure out what we want to do if we actually get a bounce. Here we are actually approaching the 50s now. Okay, futures, I see you. Trying to get going here south of 50 here. There's your level 2. There we go. We've got a break. We just need some volume to come through and actually push it down. The low is right now is 43.46 and 43.48 right now we're trading. Okay, it looks like we want to take a shot at these lows. With that, you're going to see a lot of these other names go. Maybe we'll take a look at that AMD once again and see maybe we do want to get on the short side of AMD.
Ooh, we getting spicy meatball right now again as the NASDAQ's trying to make lows one more time. And, you know, we've got those reloads coming through on NASDAQ. Come on, Velon. We just took some out on that spike up. So we're long at 04, man. I mean, if this wants to go, it wants to go. Dollar now in the money on, okay, we are reloaded. We're trying to have those diamond hands now for Apple because we are... as Apple right now, well, you know what? I'm not going to have diamond hands for that long right now, Arun. I'm just going to bid this out quickly. That was easy. You hit the diamond hands key, and then you completely avoided it. As I just saw Apple break, and honestly, Apple just broke that 166. So there it is, man. We talked about this. Look at these shorts into here. We did get nervous, though, when we started taking out some of those levels as the NASDAQ was thinking about going higher. But right now, yeah, man, Apple with a monster. We're back to their highest spot we've been at all day again. So, so far, so good here for these shorts, man. Look at AMD. Like, we just reloaded this, man. And on the sticky note, like, I just got to sort of sometimes follow my own and then just put on monster positions because at some point, and I like what you said there, when it lines up, stick with the short, I said. Looking for 91, 92 range off open. I mean... that's exactly what happened. We took the short into 91 and let it fall down, then let it come back up, got out right there on that short for this one at that 90 reload, rips up to 91. Now we're reloaded to just move to the downside. Let's put another piece out on that and get out at 08. Ooh, we missed the 08 pin right there. So yeah, okay, come back in, fill me up at 08 now. There it is, nice little fill there coming back in. So far so good here on AMD and on Apple shorts. And yeah, so far a good day. We knew that Friday would be a good day today. It looks like it is. NEO, another aggressive name to the upside. Tesla, and look at Twitter. I already know what frustrating stock of the day is, so you guys just come back at 2:30 and we'll be discussing this. But we had that 48 there on Twitter and didn't take it. So Twitter up to 49.50. Someone said Twitter's all roided out. Yeah, nice little move to the upside now. But coming back in now, respecting that 49 level. Maybe there's a long there as well.
There's got to be a trade somewhere with the way the market's been moving yesterday and then finally getting through these 50s today. If we can actually just get a little bit more excitement to the downside here. We're working 45s right now. We're 46 on the bid right now on the futures. If we just get a little bit more, then we can get going and we can hit this level right here, which is a buy zone for me. So I'm just looking for this market to get going low enough so I can actually figure out whether I can actually catch a bid here, somewhere down here. We're just looking for a setup. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be a setup somewhere south of 40 towards those 4,300s. That's what I'm looking forward to. But right now we're just working through these 50s. We can just grind through here. Those two shorts that I have, Marvell is now 40 cents in the money and Asana is 5 cents in the money, pretty much flat at this point. So those two shorts, you know, with the market going down, you would, like Sean said, I mean, it's going to be very hard to not be in the money on the shorts if you're priced right. So here we are kind of just waiting for this to get going to the downside, but what I care about more is futures. Goldman Sachs, remember I've been leaning on Goldman Sachs around these 30s the entire time, and it's just, okay, are we going to actually get some separation from these 30s? Because what I was looking forward to is, I'll use the other chart actually, Goldman Sachs, what I was looking forward to is actually a bounce back above 330, just to confirm that there's no sort of buy-side action above it. If we can actually just bounce up, snap down, that'd be perfect. I'd jump on the short side of Goldman Sachs. And then AMD, which was running strong initially. The reason my trigger went off is because we were north of 91. And I was looking for a potential fade up there, but we didn't catch the fade because of how fast it moved down. I also wasn't going to price it as it was trending up and the futures were actually above 50. So here we are kind of moving down, waiting for, it broke 90 now. So AMD definitely has space to the downside at this point.
Just a sad note here. Like, things can't go worse for Montreal Canadian fans right now. Mike Bossy passes away on the weekend, and now we have one of the best NHL players of all time passing away again. Now, Guy Lafleur from cancer just passed away at the ripe young age, honestly, of 70. Come to my screen, bro. Right here, dies at the age of 70. So unbelievable news there. Thanks to my wife for hitting me up on that one. But that's unbelievable. Mike Bossy on the weekend, or was it, maybe it was Friday, and then Guy Lafleur today. So we'll do this for O Canada, but the Montreal Canadiens organization, thoughts and prayers with everybody in the NHL, because Guy Lafleur, trust me, was one of my grandfather's favorite players, and just a great ambassador for the game. So, man, that really does suck. But anyways, all right, let's go on. I just wanted to say that, a little public service announcement there. We are over at the big screen now with Brendan, and it's small cap recap time.
Hey guys, bit of a choppy morning so far right across the board. I'll show you a couple of things we were looking at for small caps. I showed you this right before the open. This is VLON. If you take away pre-market data, so this is a daily chart. There's 250 is that kind of huge gap level. So we ended up testing 250 right out of the gate. My plan was just to wait for a fail at 250. It gave you that. We come back into 2. Now it's just kind of chopping around, not doing much, not a lot of volume behind that move anymore. For VLON, CYN, big mover yesterday, gave you all kinds of opportunities late in the day. 210 ended up being a huge level late in the day for CYN, so just using that. Trying to be patient with that one. MITQ was another one that was moving in the pre-market this morning. Got everyone out above 180 and then just absolutely collapsed back to 150. So if we can get through some of this from the pre-market, there's a long way to go down to where we were yesterday. For MITQ, guys, back to you.
Q to MRVL, Marvell going. Finally, we get going on Marvell here now, starting to move through these 59 halves towards that 59 even. That's a 70-cent winner as of right now, as the futures has broken 43.40 to the downside. As of right now, S&P down 1.17%, NASDAQ down 0.95. Look at that, NASDAQ holding up well after getting absolutely wrecked and being relatively weak for the last little bit, is now actually holding up a little bit better than the S&P. I quickly take a look at the board here, see what's actually strong, and I'm looking up here going, okay, everything is red except for Tesla, which is up 0.38%. So Tesla kind of just messing around, just up and down we go on Tesla, down towards 995 after breaking 1,000, up towards 1035, 1033 and change, now back towards 1010, all over the place. But again, the level that we care about Tesla is going to be that 970 area. That's going to be the multi-day break here because of the consolidation that you see here for the last few days going into the earnings as well. So definitely opening the door for a potential short or even a long, actually. They could even catch a bid and go back up towards 1100. But until they make a move either side, whether it's 1100 or 970, it's going to be, just be prepared that's going to be a back and forth session. And you're already seeing it here in Tesla today with the move down, move up, move down. That's the kind of market you're going to deal with Tesla until it actually figures out which direction it wants to go, because it does look like the S&P has figured out which direction it wants to go, and that is to the downside.
Yes, sir. We'll tweet out some of these charts because we're pretty proud of the damage that we've done today. Look at this. What's up to T's trade? Thank you so much for your kind words about these AMD trades. Look, I mean, I'm really proud to be able to honestly just sit here and trade in front of you guys and to be given this opportunity. Well, to have created this opportunity for this show. And honestly, like, it's been just a fantastic journey. Glad to sit here with Arun. We'll say get well soon to Neil. He'll be coming back. I mean, let's not call it timeline, but hopefully on Monday for that. But $89 coming in right now, $89.20. Let's hope that that comes through right now. But look at this take, man. We just let it fall down. And again, like, just looking at support and resistance levels, that's really all that I can do every day here, and then just sit here, trade, put on these names for you. $1.50 in the money on AMD, $1.50 in the money right now on Apple, as both of these stocks absolutely collapsing. We destroyed Cliffs today as well, as that's right back into these levels. And I don't know, maybe we'll go long one more time off 31. Now that I noticed this, wow, I didn't even realize that came all the way back down. I was getting choked up there with Guy Lafleur. And then again, like, it's just one of those things there that I find, like, 70, and I think Mike Bossy was like 66 or something. And I believe they're both cancer. And it's just like, so frustrating because, like, there's so much money that gets pumped into cancer research. It's like, that's the one thing that I would just hope for out of all of this, that we can, like, resolve and get some kind of, and I know research has been going great, and I'm not trying to talk, anything like this, but I mean, just for humanity, like, that would be just amazing if we can get just pushing forward on that, just like we do. I mean, science eventually is going to win out, hopefully, but yeah, it's just sad to see stuff like that go down. So 66 and 70 years old, when you've had such an influential life, like, you should really be living. Everyone should live as long as possible, obviously there, but shouts out and families across the board there, as, yeah, cancer has affected my family and probably a lot of yours out there as well. So that's why it's a little special for me, but whatever. Let's just move on before I get too sad and too teared up here. All right, we did miss that reload. We just tried to get Cliffs there again. Like, I don't know, I missed it, man. I put out a bid there, 31.24, and missed it. So if it comes back in, we'll take that. We're still trying to respect this 31 level. Now that it's made that bottom, I mean, we could probably take a little bit of shares right now here on Cliffs. Let's take some position. We just punched in there to 41. So, of course, it comes down a little bit, but we'll take some 41s there. And I'm going to put an order right here at 31. If it breaks back down below that, we've already given us our low. So we're going to do that on Cliffs as everything else falling in now. So I'm pretty happy with it. GPS, we didn't get that fill, or did we? Yeah, we did get a fill, low 50s there as it bounces right back up. So it looks like Gap is going to try to respect this 1150 area. I call BS on this, but hey, we'll see. I feel like it's going to fall at some point today, just teasing us right now, GPS. But there's a 17 or 18% short interest, let alone what the interest is right now. So maybe this is a wrong call here on GPS.
All right, futures bouncing, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. Like I said to you guys this morning, I was like, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do if it bounces up into the 90s. I don't know what I'm going to do if it continues down, and that's the kind of situation I'm in right now. With riding the two positions I've got, we're inside the buy zone, not set up, definitely not set up to go to the long side just yet anyways, but there could be a long at some other point later today. But the way we're moving right now doesn't give you that idea at all. So it might be a late session move, maybe a covering run at the end of the day, who knows. But the way it's trending, a lot of names breaking back down. We've got the S&P already down 1.3, a 1.3%. NASDAQ holding somewhat better than, relatively speaking, given what it's done in the past here. And I'm starting to notice, okay, there goes Apple working the bottom of the day here, 165.5. Boeing apparently is now breaking 180 or flirting with 180 right now. So Boeing on deck as well. I don't even know why this is here. Why is this here? All right, let's get rid of that. Boeing around that 180 level. No, I have a red line too. What is this? What is this from? Why would I draw that? Oh, that's down here. Okay, 180 is going to be a problem. Okay, I see it. So although 180 break is going to be there, it's going to be a little bit messy just because of the support you're actually going to find from previous days. Resistance going back from the 11th to 12th, and then also support level moves from the 18th of April as well. So 180 is there, but it's going to be a problem in terms of taking that break. So I'll remove that alert, not going to take that one. And then we go to Apple. Apple taking out 165.50. Can that be a short? Yeah, actually, Apple could be a decent short, actually. If we set it up, we just need to set it up, that's all. Apple's a good index equivalent too, right? So because of its weight. So maybe at some point later today, NASDAQ picks up some steam and actually decides that, you know what, it doesn't want to be in second place to the S&P. Apple's going to need to get going for that to happen. Maybe it wants to be weaker than the S&P, like it has been in the past. So we're going to wait on Apple, see if we can get a short on Apple soon. I'll keep a close eye on it. I'm not ready just yet, but south of 165.50, depending on how we trade, we might go for the shorts. Update on the two positions we've got here. Marvell, 72 cents in the money. Asana, 48 cents in the money, and that's it. Just those two, and I'm waiting for something else to pop up that I can actually take. Micron, we had Micron actually short yesterday. Micron decided it wants to continue its move and actually set up nicely on a break through 70 even. Look at that. Okay. Micron, we had that nice short yesterday, and then here goes 70 even on Micron today. We have some space here. There could be some problems around 69, but as long as Micron can actually show some weakness on the upside move, we could actually get into a short here around these 70s as well. So Micron, Apple, potential shorts, and we're going to wait for maybe the futures to bounce or even keep going down. At this pace, just keep going down, get into a range where I can actually pick up some bids.
Yeah, you know, I'm with you on all that, man. I mean, this market is really, you talked about finding a level on Apple, man. We're already short $1.50 ago, AMD $1.80 ago. And yeah, I'm just trying to honestly just do exactly what we talk about here. And that is to hold on to some of these plays, get them the right way, and then go from there. We did reverse into a little long here on GPS when it broke higher. Like I said, we got that bid there and it just didn't look like it wanted to go anywhere but up from here. So I'm wondering if the short squeeze on this gap is maybe there. We've already made some of those lows. I'm going to hold this one. I put an offer breaking through 70. So if we can break back down here, then we'll get out. But other than that, let's see if there is some gas here to GPS going back up to the upside. So we're just going to hold on. We're going to get out at 12. If it comes back to 12, that's fine. We'll make money on GPS on the long side, but who knows if this is going to be a long or a short in today. I thought it was going to be a short, but once we took out some of these levels that we've already made here today, like that was already taking out the day's high on gap. Like nothing else is taking out day's high. I know we're still down 17%, but still, it's not a short. It doesn't look like to me on the chart, and all I can do is read them. So, and we've been reading them like tea leaves recently, so that's going to be a good one there for us as well. Check out, that's GPS here. Check out the reload on Cliffs right now. That's, again, like a glove, baby, right there. We tried to get 31.20s and missed it, so I just punched in there at 40, and there it is, man, a nice little move. We just took this trade. So this trade was 39.40, and then about 5 minutes later, we're getting it out at the 50 period at 31.80. So yes, sir, that's another one as the Ape Nation maybe can circle around Cliff Natural Resources. Brendo, kill him with kindness.
Happy to tell everyone, guys. We just got confirmation. Miss V will definitely be back for Market Movers in the midday show today. So that's coming up in about 30 minutes. One to keep an eye on, Dogness International. This is not the first time this has happened. There's a short report and negative note out on this. So absolutely collapsing here. This is a Chinese name. Just a heads up, DOGZ. As for European markets at this point, I mean, being dragged down, obviously, with the overall negativity around the U.S., but a choppy day, to say the least, guys, over in Europe. Back over to you.
Choppy day in Europe, you say? Remember,
I feel like it's a choppy day here, too, man.
It's moving down. But, I mean, let's take a quick look at the, we don't do this enough, and I'll pull up the Euro Stocks 50 futures contract and see what's going on over there, just because, yeah, okay, I see it. It's not as consistent, but there was an opportunity to get some shorts here. This is a Euro Stocks 50 for anyone watching from Europe that actually wants to know, because Europe's still open. It's still open for another hour. So we are getting into the final hour on European sessions. So we've got, Germany, we got France, we've got Amsterdam as well. I've traded Amsterdam.
France is also having an election.
There you go. And the FESX, top 50 names there in Europe. There's a nice little index to work with. I like to work with this one over other ones. Like you have the DAX as well, but DAX is Germany specific. So FESX, good multi-country index there. And here, a nice little move around, what is it, about 1 p.m. European time there, and moving back towards that 3,800, then finally falling off to 3,770. This is somewhat choppy. Although it is down 2.25%, that is still because of where it closed, and where it closed is up here. Remember, they're going to kind of follow through on what what North America did. And when Europe closed at 11:30, North America kept going down. So they're doing a catch up here by gapping down here and then attempting a move up and then finally losing it. So that's why it's still down 2.2% to the downside. But for the most part, since it's open, it has been choppy.
All right. Yeah, that's a good look. I think that's a good idea. Normally, Ms. V will do the European update there, but I think that was a good look there for us as well. Okay, the market is definitely turning around here, and I'm looking at Apple, and I want to get short now in between here, in between VWAP and the 50 period. We just took another piece out. We're pretty light now. Like as these markets fall back in, we're getting out of these trades. So it's not the maximum amount of money that we could have made today, but it's a pretty decent amount. Pretty happy with the way things are floating out now. But honestly, you know, it's just one of those days where I'm gonna have to let, like you just said, I guess I said that the market was kind of choppy there, and like you mentioned about Europe, even though the NASDAQ's coming down, I just feel like when I look at a lot of these names, like the moves are aggressive, but then they're kind of like aggressive the other way as well on moves back. So it's just one of those things where I think we got to be as patient as we can right now and really just wait for trades to come in instead of forcing them to come through. So that's one thing that I'm trying to do right now. And I just talked about it. Like normally I would have just reloaded Apple right there at that 50 period because we feel like it's weak. It already took down some key levels here that we talked about on the 20-minute. We broke through 165 there. If you look at Apple here on a daily chart, we were trying to break, well, we didn't break through 165, but that 166 bottom was a level that we were looking at. But yeah, I think we just got to be patient, try to wait for a move to happen, and then hit it when it's there. Because right now, other than Twitter, your Tesla, not your Tesla, sorry, you don't trade Tesla, but you mentioned Tesla earlier. I mean, that could be a name that's already went upside there on that big move down. And look where we respect it again. If we're going to look at this from a charting and technical standpoint, I mean, it went right down to yesterday's low again of 995. So that was another one of those names that, you know, could have been traded there and really wasn't. And you know, a good move back up. And look where it went right into yesterday's consolidated closing area. So, I mean, it broke it and we didn't close in that area, but that's another name there to look out for. Obviously, Apple and Tesla now making some moves. But yeah, I don't really have anything on my mind yet. Just looking to get shorter in Apple at some point here.
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe walk away from that Apple read for now. It's, again, as the market picks up strength,
big time strength.
Apple's going to pick up strength. A lot of the index names are going to be there strong. So I'm going to immediately, if the market's going to do this, let's take a quick look at what's strong right now. We're going to have to ignore Tesla because I don't trade Tesla, but we've got NVIDIA strength here, relative strength. NVIDIA up 0.3%, 2% on the upside. Okay, NVIDIA, I see you. This is actually one of the relative strength plays here if you're going to make a move here. They just failed break that 200. Okay, that's good. Get some stops out of the way. What else you got? Ooh.
What else you got, homie?
Oh, this is real good. Okay, I see you, NVIDIA. Multiple attempts out of what? 200 that doesn't actually go. So here we got 190. What's the low here? 197.28. And then we try to take 200 again and we just bounce. Man, that 200 long would have been gold right there. Okay, so I'm definitely going to keep an eye on NVIDIA for potential longs. The reason I'm thinking this is because of the 200 failed break multiple times. It's a big deal on the daily time frame as well. It's actually the round number. We've been working this support zone for months now. From January, there's been 210 holding well, and then we finally got underneath that 210 into that round number. You need to go into that round number to set it up. And here you are, getting underneath 200 and snapping back a couple times. So clearly there's buyers down there waiting and willing to pick it up with a little bit of slippage. In this case, it was about $3 or so. So I might be willing to step in on the buy side on NVIDIA as well around these 200s and take the shot on the upside because of where the futures are at. Remember, futures are at a buy point. Not set up to buy on the futures outright, but I can go as a proxy. I can kind of go into some names in the index and see if I can actually pick up a bid. Relative strength, I guess, would be the play here.
Whoa.
As I say that, futures back off big time from the mid 40s back underneath 40 at the moment.
Yeah, that's just a shame. Okay, first of all, Cliff's broke there. We got out. Nothing really to worry about on that side. Cliff's a monster winner for us today. But what I was just saying is a shame there because, again, just having a little more faith would have been nice there because Apple just went right up to VWAP there. And as you were talking about NVIDIA and some of those names hitting levels, the same thing was true for Apple. It just came right into that level. And I was like, I wanted it a little closer to 167 there. So a little bit of a mistake hit there. And then AMD, the same thing. We took down VWAP, but that was getting a little more aggressive. I'm not convinced that I'm right on AMD. There to the downside. But I'm really happy, man. Netflix today's its third day, man. So I bought on the first day about 213. We talked about that live on the show. But today it seems like it still wants to hold up despite the NASDAQ. Like Netflix is still $10 higher than its not all-time low, than its lows in the last couple of days. And holding up pretty good considering what the NASDAQ has been doing today. Got as high as 226 right there, Netflix. I don't want to short this name. There's obviously going to be better names to short as we come through. You know what fell down was Roblox, which was fine. We were able to get out to the upside, and then we held about 30% back in. But its all-time low is right here, man, at 34.20. So you got to watch out for that name possibly coming in again there. But yeah, right now, honestly, Twitter, something to look at. Microsoft, did it take 280? No. Oh yeah, it did take 280, sorry. But we're all the way back in now, up to 280 again. That bottom of 279 looking like something there as well. Yeah. I don't know, man. I got to find some names to short here. This market just failed again at that 50 period one more time. Tried to go and did it, man. Back down to 13. What was the bottom? 12.9, I think, on the NASDAQ. So that could be retested even next week. So you definitely want to look for some shorts here into today. So I don't know, man. Microsoft, we're looking to get that short. Should have hit Apple. When it comes back up, we will get into that short again. But I think the reason's the market wants to be down today, and we just need to find some shorts. But I'm just kind of resting on these laurels right now and waiting to get better prices. So we talked about that, and I need to find another name. So is there anything? Mike Murphy, what's up? He just caught my attention there. So we'll talk about JD coming through. We looked at Alibaba. There was some shorts possibly coming through today. JD, not bad. Yeah, from that 54 area, that's not bad at all. As some of these Chinese e-commerce names looking to make a run. But look how choppy this is on the 1 minute. Like, I agree on some of these shorts, but not this one. It's too choppy. What is going on with NIO right now? That could be a Chinese name that had a nice run today, up to 18 and change. Now, okay, see? So this is actually breaking. Look at NIO trying to take down VWAP right here. This could be one to look at for the short. Apple, $1 in the money. AMD, $1 as the NASDAQ trying to tick lower here.
Yeah, NASDAQ ticks lower, so I picked up one more short that actually set up well. Micron, I guess we're continuing yesterday's trade here because we made a decent amount of money on Micron yesterday, and looks like it wants to continue its move as it just took out 70 even on the down. Well, for the second or third time, but at the same time, I wanted to see what we had in terms of buy strength on the way back up to 70. We attempted all the way up to 70.40, lost it, so I stepped in here. It's already 13 cents in the money as Micron is now underneath 70 and working well. The reason I went for this, though, is Micron, if you look at the daily on this, don't worry, I'm still looking at NVIDIA potential long, by the way. I haven't left that idea just yet. Micron here, as it works through 70, remember, I'm looking at 69 as a target. I don't want to put up too much risk, so $1 is going to be all I need to see whether I'm right or wrong. South of 70, if we can get to 69, I can get out, make it a one-for-one trade, cover some of this, so I can actually, at least the rest of it, even if the rest of it comes back, I end up flat on the position as a whole, right? So I'm going to give it a chance. I've got what I need. I'll take some out if we get to 69 even. At the same time, I'll manage this as closely as possible. Marvell, let's take a quick look at that because that is 86 cents in the money. Marvell, what are you doing? Remember, off the daily, we just broke through that 60 for the second time. We got there yesterday afternoon. And then we kind of just bounced up a little bit. Marvell tried that 60 today multiple times, got no juice to the upside. So here we go down on Marvell. Targets for this is, let's go back to the daily. What do we got for targets? I don't have anything, to be honest with you. Like maybe 58, but that's a stretch to look at 58. So we're just going to manage this one. When you don't have targets, you just manage. That's it. Just trail. Have a trail stop in place as it gets going to the downside. So Marvell will manage that one, and then the last one is going to be Asana to the downside as well. That's 54 cents in the money. Asana it's been a problem, but it is getting going here. Nice trend on Asana too, going all the way back to late February into March. Starting all the way at 52, it looks like, no, not even 52, it's like 56 or so. Made a move down to 32, bounced back up to the mid 40s, and now here we go to the downside on Asana. And on a trend like this, you know there's no targets. There's going to be nothing because you got to go all the way back to when? I don't even know. Let's pull up the weekly chart. How far back on Asana do I have to go to find a target? Okay, we got to go all the way back to May of 2021 to figure out targets, and the target's going to be around these 28s. Okay, I got to respect this because there's been a ton of action here since the IPO date. We've been floating around these 28s for a while, which is still $1.40 from where we are. So I'm going to say 28 is going to be the target on Asana in the event that we go to the downside, and I'll just keep trailing this until we get to that point.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same manage mode right now as well. Yeah, Microsoft, we'll see about this. This name's weak today. You see Apple is basically flat on the day as far as the percentage-wise. Oh, no, sorry, not Apple. AMD is what I was talking about there. AMD basically flat on a percentage-wise today. It is exactly flat. So this is, like I said, I know you guys are yelling, you know, AMD head and shoulders and things like that. But I'm not really worried about those kind of setups right now. What I want to play is just what I keep saying, and that is like the right momentum into some of these names. So yeah, AMD has been short, but today it doesn't really look like it wants to respect that level for sure on the short. We will try to take Apple short if it does come back up into the 40s, that's for sure. Microsoft, I took this knowing that we'd probably have to massage this a little bit because I'm looking at this 281. If we break 281, then we'll be out. So I want to get like a much bigger position around this 280.60 level for Microsoft. So we'll wait there. Actually, let's just put it at 280.60. I mean, if we're going to sit here and dance, let's do it, man. We'll put some shares there around 280.60. If it does pop up into VWAP, we'll take that. I just, like I said, let's let the NASDAQ try to move upside now and then take some fills. Like, that's what we want. Here comes Microsoft coming back up. If you take out 281, then we'll break it and we'll get out. I mean, that's just what we're trying to follow some rules here. Wow, okay. Now we're really getting excited here, Arun, as the market just popped there like crazy. I don't know if there's anything going on, but that's a big move to the upside right there.
We got Brendan with Sector Watch.
Hey guys, yeah, quick update on what is leading right now as far as the S&P is concerned. We are down 1.2%. This gigantic red box over here is the healthcare sector, so a lot of pressure coming from healthcare stocks specifically. Biogen, it's worth noting, among the leaders to the downside today. There was some negative news on it. Banks as well, also under pressure here. The individual banks, though, SIVB, standing out there, positive earnings for them. So that one up 13%, but everything else you can see in the red. Tech stocks as well. The entire group here, including semiconductors, they're leading, in fact, to the downside, all under pressure. So tech weak, industrials weak, and some of the healthcare names are weak. There is United there, 2.8% to the upside. Some strength in individual airlines once again. AAL also positive, but Love back to the downside for Southwest. Delta as well, I saw back in negative territory. Material stocks all red on the day. FCX and Newmont here back to the downside. We mentioned CLF, decent report for them, back in positive territory, but otherwise fairly quiet the rest of the board. There is a little bit of strength coming through in consumer durables as well, worth noting, but otherwise, yeah, pretty ugly. 1.2 to the downside, guys. Back over to you.
Bang right there as we shorted Microsoft and got out right there as we come right into view up. Our best outs were actually a little bit even lower than that, man. We got some out here, 8, 13, 7, 6s, like that on Microsoft off a big position there for me. Wow, okay, off a big position there for me. But this market, I don't know, man. Right now, we're starting to go a little crazy right now on all of this. Like, these are big time movements. Like, Microsoft almost takes out 281 there and then just dips right back into 250. So I don't know, man. Taking advantage of these moves downside, but I feel like this market wants to blow up right now, so it might be wrong on that. But We did get another short into Apple, took that out. Look how far Apple went down to 165 there, some bottom. So let's put another bid somewhere near 166. This has just been like a little bit of a chaotic day here for me. So we want to like try to slow this down a bit here. Apple, if we can get something down there, just the market's going crazy and I have positions on right now. So that's what I'm doing. And yeah, got out of that Microsoft good thing because it looks like it wants to take 281 again right now.
Yeah, I see you guys talking about NVIDIA. I put a bid down. I put a bid down. I'm like, oh, I can get filled. And about 5 seconds later, I'm like, no, I can't get filled because it just took off to the upside here. And now it's north of 203. And I was like, really? Like I was seconds away and you had to do this. The timing of this had to be like that. Okay, fine. Here goes NVIDIA. We're going to end up missing this trade because it's too expensive now to price a long in at this point. The trade had to be done between 201 and 200. And it takes off to 203 now. And the issue is if it gets going up to this high, then you have to wonder, hey, is it going to triple top again? That's going to be a problem. So you got to manage this position. So I can't even afford to buy it back on a pullback because of the way it's going to end up setting up in the event that it pulls back. So you don't want that if it sets up like that. So the way it's going right now, you either had it and you're riding the train up, or in this case, NVIDIA, yeah, you're riding the train up, and you can manage your way and protect your profit, or it just comes right back down and then you're screwed because it's going to be right back into the middle of a range and you don't want to be caught in that. So I'm just going to ride what I have right now. We've got Marvell, Asana both in the money. Micron is making a move back to the upside. It makes sense. Chips are going up right now. So with that bounce, Marvell is out of the money by 30 cents or so. But again, like I said, I like the 70 level. I like the way it's been moving. I like the daily setup. You see the trade here on Marvell. That was at 74. So 74, we've got 73 and change exits. Then we got the final exit around 71. And now we finally got through 70 and we take a 70 break. Now if we get back...
Unbelievable.
Sean's gotten some positions.
No, I got out of Microsoft on that top there.
All right, okay. So so we got 71s. If we end up getting back above 71, it ends up confirming the support base there. And that becomes a problem. So we're not going to touch this one here. We're going to let it go. If we need to take the hit on this, we'll take a hit on this, but we're going to let it go for now.
Oh my God, this is the life of a scalper, man. Like, that sucks. Like it just took that 281 there. Like normally I wait a little more than that. Just thought the market was going. This would have been a really big, really good one for me. Oh man, we just threw back like half of our day there on that. Not half, like just from our maximum when we had it down here to all the way up there. We were really cruising on that Microsoft short. Damn it, that sucks, man. We had that trade. That sucks. Okay, so we were out of that Microsoft. That's going to hit me the rest of the day. But we did at least take more Apple, and we'll see if we can get that down at 165.80. Oh man, that sucks about Softy there. But okay, we'll just regroup. That's fine. We'll find some more trades. We found that one in like a minute there, but Softy definitely not a great picture that I want to paint there, but we got short and we got out. It's fine. There's really no damage done. It's just the foregone cost here of making that move, right? Like it was up there. We should still have the trade. I shouldn't have got out of them all, but I did, and that's Microsoft to that upside. Damn it, that sucks. But it's all good. As Apple right there, we just took a 70-cent winner on that short, so that's come in. We're making the money back here, but yeah, messed up on that Microsoft out. Brendan, getting ready to rock and roll. You guys ready at the big screen with Money Talks? Let's go.
Make sure you're here this afternoon. We're going to have Frank Caberna back with us to talk a little bit about Treasury yields coming off in a hurry this morning, anyways, at this point. But also the U.S. dollar, DXY at recent highs. If you were with us on Monday, Frank was talking about the U.S. dollar and whether or not this high would get taken out, and it has today. So 0.5%, in fact, to the upside for the DXY today, back above 101.10, multi-month highs for the U.S. dollar after what happened yesterday with Fed Chair Powell talking about not just one, but multiple larger increases to interest rates coming in the remainder of the year. So everything else, as far as currencies are concerned here, under pressure, including the Canadian dollar down almost a full percent today. 78.7 there for the CAD, 0.5% for the euro to the downside. Take your pick. They're all under pressure. Turkish lira and Russia, the ruble back to the upside again today, 1.2 again for the Russian ruble, 4.5%. Even cryptocurrencies, as we've seen in the past, kind of getting hit with U.S. dollar strength. Guys, back over to you.
Yeah, I'm paying very close attention to Brendan's money talks with the currencies because when you travel, sometimes you gotta play the hedge too, right? If you gotta make some exchanges, you gotta make some get some dinero in other currencies, then you try to play around, try to minimize the damage as much as you can because the Canadian dollar is weaker and it seems to be getting weaker, and that's going to be more expensive for me to get other currencies right now, apparently. Yep. So upside is, hey, U.S. markets, U.S. money, here we go. Making the money here. Marvell, $1 in the money at the moment as it takes out that 59 level. I like that. Next up, Asana, 50 cents in the money, 51 cents in the money right now. Still working those lows, okay. And then Micron coming back in now finally after taking a shot at those 70.40s, now working those 70.20s. And here we are. Can we get going to the downside? Because Future is putting in a downside move again now at 33, 43, 33 and change. I see somebody who put the target out there. I think it was Mike Rehan said 43.23 half. That's very specific. I would love to see how this one closes out because, hey, we're in a buy zone. Like I mentioned off the top here, we're in a buy zone. So anywhere here, I'm willing to step into a long. It's just a matter of getting that setup going. Where does that setup come in place? So as long as we end up somewhere in this buy zone with the buy setup, I'll be on the long side. If we end up grinding through here, and every attempt up is exactly what you would see in a typical grind session, right? Attempted buyers coming in, trying to move it up, and then sellers are like, nope, not yet. And then we just work through the volume through this buy zone, and then we end up taking out the level. 4,300 is going to be that level. So as long as this keeps happening, this market's heading downhill. So at some point when this lets go, if it lets go, then we can step into a long. But for the time being, we're just going to ride the shorts out, let this market go as far as it wants to go. If 4,300 breaks, like I said, that daily looks very, very ugly, and we may have to be looking at 4,100 fairly soon.
I honestly haven't been this displeased with myself in a long time. I mean, yeah, shout out to, I don't know who it was here. Oh, CompSerix1 here, talking about being displeased, off that little move. And yeah, you're right. I mean, it's all about share sizing, and like, honestly, like that's just, like, it's a day maker if I don't get out of this, because now you're all the way down to 279. Sure, I would have scalped some out. I would have been some out there at 280, but give up that dollar there. Like, it just would have been a much, much different day than it is for me right now. But I'm going to, so Facebook, this is a name here that it's going to have potentials to make these moves to the upside, but that's fine. Like yesterday, it was doing similar stuff there off, I don't know if we have bad wicks again, off the open here. Like it was taking these highs, and then eventually around 10 o'clock, it sort of started to settle down, hitting some of these levels, and then it just collapsed like literally the rest of the day, and we had a monster. Like these shorts here are 201s, guys. There's an out, 191. So that's a $10 winner on Facebook. So it's like, obviously we've had some good days coming in. Yesterday was an absolute monster day for me, so nothing to complain about. It's just like, what a difference that would have made there. We're well in the money on Apple, well in the money on AMD, and should be like almost one of my biggest trades of the day. Could have been that Microsoft trade, but that's okay. We don't have it, so we'll move on that one and just talk about Facebook now. So we're into this short on Facebook. I believe we test the bottoms. I mean, it's just a matter of what you think on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ right now is floating around these day lows. Sure, it keeps bumping up. Got it. I got you, NASDAQ. I see you. But honestly, like, you keep failing. So if Facebook's going to do something very similar and try to fail around these 50 periods and things like that, then yeah, I'm here to take that long. So let's wait to see, take that short at these levels. So I'm going to be averaging into this one at 187.50. I mean, and I'm position sized accordingly. Like, this would not be a maximum position right here if I thought that there was a chance for us to float back up here. We've seen the NASDAQ be pretty choppy, so let's let Facebook do that move, man. Let's let it come up to this, 187.50. We'll take another position on there, and then, something like this. I don't know if we're going to break that 190, but that's $4 away, so I'm not going to hold it that far. But let's just see what happens here with Facebook. I want to be in this short, trying to look at some of these levels, man, 188s. So we'll sit here, we'll take hopefully an aggressive position if it comes back up into there, and then see if Microsoft can fall. I do want to get revenge, not just revenge on Microsoft, but again, look at the market, 0.73, look at Microsoft, 0.35 when it went up here. If we thought the market was going to come down, Microsoft did have room to retrace in there. So that's a trade that I'm looking at. And I also don't mind, man, Apple's starting to get back upside again. I can't short everything, but Apple back into this level is not a bad short either. So we'll try to fit out here. We only have 2 minutes left. I don't think we have much earnings, Brendo, on Monday or anything like that. I know Ms. V's not here. She should be back for the Market Movers show. So that's going to be exciting. But I see Prad is in the building. So you're in good hands in a couple minutes, guys.
All right. Ms. V's not here, but that means I get to do National Day on my own. And don't tell Ms. V because she gets mad all the time. Oh, damn it.
That's okay. She won't have it set up. You do it.
But National Day, there's only one National Day.
Oh, Ms. V
regardless. It's Earth Day. Straight up and simple. Everyone knows this. It's forget the food, forget everything. It is Earth Day today. So National Day is going to be Earth Day. And guys, I mean, be smart about what you're doing when you're, driving around and flying around, whatever. Just it is Earth Day. So conserve energy if you possibly can. Take care of it.
Great day. And I'll just say something about Earth Day as well. And that is like, I really get pissed off. Like, I still see people like our generation and younger. Like, why the hell are people throwing stuff on the road? Like, guys, find a goddamn garbage and put your stuff in the garbage, right? Like, why? Like, I still see that all the time, even outside, even right now. It's like, oh, I don't need this receipt. Throw it away. It's like, what the hell's going on? Anyways, Earth Day, obviously, I'm passionate about a lot of things here. Yeah, so I just want to say that's something all that we could do a little bit better. I feel like just take care of the planet, man. Like, whatever. If you're driving a combustible engine, that's fine. I just think like pollution and just simple things like that. Because like even my kids, like they look and say like, what the? Like they know not to do that stuff. So let's up our game a little bit on that, as Facebook right now instantly in the money, 50 cents, man. So it looks like that short's going to be good. I'm pretty happy with this one. Pissed off still about Microsoft. But yeah, let's go. Yeah, turn off the unused monitors. Yeah, in the background. Yeah, we should do that. Right now they're being used, but see, we turn them off. Great idea. If you're not at home, let's do that as well. But there goes Facebook right now, guys. I'm going to take another piece out. Why not? If we can get, like, we just put this trade on minutes ago, right? 187 short. Bang, right there. There's 70 cents taken right there on Facebook. So a nice little win there as we go. But hey, the show's about to get a lot better, Arun. Thank you so much for joining us today, Arun. Thank you so much to all the viewers as well, all of our IT team, everybody in the background. It was a tough day. We didn't have our speaker working today, so we had to get some throws over to Brendan there. Thanks to Lucas and Fahad for all that. But without any further ado, the team is there. Miss V's there. Trader Pratt is there. Let's throw it over to our midday show. Kill it, guys.
Welcome to the last day of the week. It is time for the best midday show on the internet, the Market Movers Time, with the beautiful Miss V and Trader Prad.
And beautiful Trader
I was going to say, I know, I messed it up. I messed it up.
Guys, welcome back. Please be active on the chat as usual. Ask us anything, like that video. And yeah, I haven't been here in the morning, so what's